Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hunter Base podcast. What do Maverick Hunters do when they're not hunting Mavericks? They go back to the base, recharge, and shoot the shit. I'm your host of the most, Zeromaster, and with me once again, I have RyeGuy.
Hello.
And I have Lex with me again from Aussie
Hello.
So if you guys don't know who they are, I'll just briefly go over this again. So RyeGuy does skit videos, usually involve tokusatsu or, I don't know, ponies or some shit. And Lex is a guy on the internet.
Yeah. I have a new YouTube channel, which I might actually do shit on now. It's called the Henshin Archiver, but I am just getting around to it. I mostly just want to do. I just want to be a Tokutuber at this point.
Tokutuber, yeah, might as well.
Yeah, that's what they call it. I'm probably just going to do toy reviews and make high grade compilations that make me open to toys copyright crap. So yay.
Though now that you mentioned that, fun story, Mark. I'm bringing back Henshin Time, so that's coming back eventually in glorious 4K at 60 frames per second.
Sexy.
Once my computer can handle it.
Imagination.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, that should be wonderful. I mean, just get one of like the Zen 3 like Ryzen processors, and you should be fine because those.
I'm building a new computer in November, so
like I'll get a rise out of you for sure.
No, you just have to do like the Fenico laugh.
Riley, did I not hit you enough during Anime North? Okay. But enough dilly-daddling, guys. Now, shall we begin this experiment?
Hell yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because we're talking about Kamen Rider Build tonight. If you guys remember, the last time these guys were here was for X-Aid, and that was a conversation that went too long. And because of technical difficulties with Riley's computer, we're kind of behind a little bit, so I may try to speed through this really quick. So guys, to get started, Kamen Rider Build, give me your thoughts without spoiling anything.
It's my second favorite Kamen Rider series now, so it's just that good. The story, the characters, the drama, the everything about it. I absolutely love Build, and I'm one of those crazy people that doesn't think Build's second half is full of shit. So yeah, because at some point during the second half of the show, people started to get really down on it. Not everyone, obviously, but I've seen quite a few people say that Build started to get really bad on the second half, and I heavily disagree. It's
funny because that leads into what I thought, because I remember the first arc I thought was really, really slow, and I thought it was just generic Kamen Riders crap. And I remember saying I was 10 episodes in, I remember saying to Ryan, I'm like, when does it get really good? Because I'm going to be honest, I'm 10 episodes in and I'm not loving this. And I think your response was just, and that was it.
Like, I can't. It's like I don't know what to say because this kind of thing is subjective. So,
and it's funny because literally the next day, I saw the end of that arc where the introduction of Rabbit Tank Sparkling, and I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Now it's getting into shit. But yeah, Riley, what are your non-spoiler thoughts on Kamen Rider Build?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same for me. It's it's my second favorite Kamen Rider series. Here's the thing, Rider after Gaim hasn't been awful. I actually say it's been pretty consistent when it comes to quality. I mean, I wasn't a fan of Ghosts.
Yeah,
we know. You all know that by now. But I like Drive just fine. I liked XA just fine. But Build is the one that I feel won me over the most out of like the three out of the three out of like the out of the four out of like okay, out of the last like 4 years or
Try
so.
your words.
Yeah. Yeah, just like no, like draw like I like I can't process my thoughts. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, Riley. I'll try not to spook you.
Spooking. Yeah, just like
he's doing the Panico laugh. Love it.
because like a lot of it's like storytelling, a lot of it's like darker atmosphere, a lot of it's character. Like it felt like I was watching Gaim again for like just like I like no like I like Ryder like don't get me wrong, I know like Ryder afterwards have been trying to do this more serialized like storytelling, which I'm glad for because that's kind of my preference.
The sort of like 2-part episodic nature of Kamen Rider got by Wizard it got really stale. So I'm glad by Gaim they changed it up. So
I think Build is my third favorite rider now. Rider series.
Oh, okay.
Gaim's my second, and O's is my favorite. So, but that's just because O's is a special place in my heart, and actually, a lot of parts later on in Build reminded me of some of the later on shit that happened in O's, and I was like, "Oh, this is really great. This is the same feeling I got when I was watching O's for the first time. I was like, this is great." I think I also mentioned this in the X-Aid video. I dropped Kamen Rider for a bit. I dropped Toku for a bit because I just had so many things I was working on. Part of it was getting stale. I mostly blame Sentai for this. So it was just, I don't know. It was just, even though I enjoyed X-Aid when it was airing, like for the first little bit, I was definitely feeling like the fatigue. So I left for a bit and went back to anime instead. And now I've come back to Toku. I still watch anime, by the way, because JoJo's almost done, part 5. Yay. So I marathoned X-Aid, and I think ZO was like 5 to 8 episodes in. And I started marathoning Build. So I didn't have to have the wait for this one, like the weekly wait. So I just ended up watching the whole thing in one stretch, except for, of course, like the new specials and shit that are coming out. So, so my viewing experience again was different than somebody who was watching it weekly. I didn't get back to weekly until about like the first arc of ZO was over. So, but we'll go into that when we talk about ZO eventually. So, guys, let's hop right into it and get.
Hey.
So
my default laugh seems to be Fenico for some reason. I don't know
why. I think the best place to start is basically say what the show's about. It's about Kiryu Sento, a genius scientist who makes toys, and his journey of being a hero for the what's the name of the region that he's in, Japan?
He's in the Japan's no longer a thing in this world.
Yeah. So Japan, I skipped ahead a little bit. So Japan split into 3 separate
countries,
nations, because of Pandora's box, which came from Mars. I think. But so he's the writer for, technically, well, we don't know there's other writers yet, but he's basically the hero of the series.
He's at Toto's writer, I think.
Is it Toto? Yeah, Toto. So what are the 3 regions? There's Toto,
Hokuto, and Sato. So Toto's like the standard Japan, in my opinion. Hokuto, that's the one that Greece and that's where it's doesn't have like plants growing. It's like
it's basically North Korea, and Sato is like
where where Rogue and the Gear Brothers came from.
Yeah, so it's like,
actually, Rogue was part of was part of Toto, but like he defected over to like Sato eventually.
So essentially, like the story's initially about Sento taking care of the monsters known as Smashes and the mystery and trying to solve the mystery around them.
Yeah, and by the way, can I just say, when Build was announced and I heard that the enemies were called the Smash, I was in meme heaven for like a good hour.
God.
Because if you've been on the internet long enough, you know that Smash has become a euphemism for fucking.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, since I want to go hang out, no, I can't. I'm smashing right now.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So Build's story I really enjoyed. Something you've also noticed that, like we explained, Toto, Hokuto, and Sato are pretty much like sort of like the three like political systems, which is capitalism, communism, and fascism, essentially. And all three are critiqued, which is good because there's no perfect political ideology.
Mm-hmm.
But
so
I don't. Yeah, I think that's all I should say because I don't want to start.
Before we get ahead, I should explain real quick. So Sento uses bottles which contain essence of different animals or objects, like some usually machinery or something like that, and uses them in the build driver. He actually uses two. So allow me to quickly demonstrate that for you. Go in there, damn it. And if they match up, it's the best match, and this is a standard form, essentially.
The bottles are in the wrong order, and it's driving me nuts.
Yeah. So that's his base form, Rabbit Tank, but you can mix various other ones. I don't have all the bottles. I only have 3 best matches.
Yeah, that's like I on the other hand.
Yeah, I know you have all the fucking toys. But yeah, so that's basically how he fights. He uses like a little crank. Later on, a driver gets introduced called the Splash Driver, which uses 1 bottle or a juice thing.
They're called the Splash Jellies, and they're based on like those jelly bottles, which are very popular in Japan.
Yeah, and only certain like essences from like the bottles are like
compatible with the Splash Jelly.
Yeah, basically there's certain essences from like the bottles that can make certain things. Like Rabbit Tank, can make Rabbit Tank sparkling.
And then there's other like formations like Gorilla and Diamond makes Gorillamon, and then we have stuff like this is my last best match that I have, Ninja and Comic, which makes Ninja and Comic. So it doesn't always have to be like machinery and animals. It could be like just life forms and objects, I guess you could say.
Like you have organic bottles and inorganic bottles.
Now you Now you can mix. Now Build isn't restricted to this. He can mix mix and match anything he wants, but the best matches are the ones that are the strongest together.
Yes,
so that's why he usually sticks to the best matches.
Also, Build has like a ton of forms in the show. I think he has like 60 or 50, maybe.
Jesus Christ.
This is unfortunately a problem ever since, I would say, when did
it's been happening since Wizard. Wizard was the one that was really like pushed the whole forms thing.
No, I wouldn't, because at least he had like 4 forms, 4 upgrades, a super, and then he had like his final form.
I guess O's had 6 forms, but like they were
6
all.
combos. Yeah.
But like the combo forms were just one, they were all base forms. So
I know what the problem is. It started with Ghost because like one of Ghost's problems that during the first 12 episodes, there are so many toys coming out, all these icons are coming out, and they had to basically introduce a new form like every episode. And that was one of Ghost's first problems.
Yeah.
Is that it was showering you with toys and forms.
Yeah,
and like
that was due to a behind the scenes like squabble between Bandai and TV Asahi. They were like they wanted to push more toy sales, essentially after Drive apparently plummeted in them. So
okay, that explains it. That explains everything because which is sad because like Drive is one of my favorite toy lines.
Honestly, I think it got bad with Wizard, and the reason I say this is because you've got the 4 forms. Like Flame is normal one, you got land, water, wind, and then you've got the dragon forms of those. Then there's the Dragon Timer, which is a separate fucking toy, which just uses all the other previous forms. Then you've got Infinity, and then you've got Infinity Dragon, which only showed up in a movie, but holy shit, that's a lot of forms. And Gaim, as much as I love it, there's a million lock seeds. And they there's a million fucking forms, but at least like in Gaim, they all had the same like undersuit, and it's just armor that gets added on.
What helped with Gaim is that they were all divided upon all the 4 riders. Is what helped. Like
the thing too is I don't consider an Astro Switch or a Shift car that just adds one thing, for example, as a new form.
Yeah, I know. That was like sort of a secondary thing along with the main form, which is one of the reasons why I think Drive's toy lines didn't feel oversaturated. But with Ghost, because he has fucking 8 fucking main forms. You know, he has Ore, and then he has Musashi, and then that was over the top.
You got to have a new one of these every fucking week.
And then X sort of had the same problem, but at least the gadgets were divided among the 4 riders.
Yeah.
And then Build sort of had the same problem, but I think the way they were introduced was different because, in Ghost, a lot of the forms he sort of had to earn, and Nexide was the same. In Build, he didn't have to earn the forms. All he had to do was get the bottles, and then he could transform. Which is the way I prefer it. I don't mind when a rider has to earn their forms. But I much prefer I prefer it when it feels like the rider is just upgrading his arsenal for future stronger enemies instead of earning the forms because you earned this icon because you took out the trash this morning. You're such a good person.
I like the earning one when it's actually something there that's earned. As much as Ghost is a bad show, they did that at the start a lot really well. So before it shit the bed. But one thing we should say, just to go back real quick, is with the bottles, when he defeats a Smash, he can suck them up into the bottle, and then he can get the bottle refined, and then it becomes its final form like it is here. So, just for example, this is the Diamond bottle. Well, he had to defeat the Smash for Diamond in order to get this. So, every Smash uses a bottle. So
I don't think so, because I think he converted I don't think that really works like that. I think he converted. I forget what it is, but the Diamond bottle was not converted by a Diamond Smash.
It was just an example, is what it is.
It's I think with Lock and Fire Truck or Fire Engine, he got that from a Smash.
Yeah. But also this just a little throwback to Double. The Smashes to transform some of them just ingest the bottle into their bodies, with the three crows from Hokuto, and I think the Blood Clan from the Build movie. Yeah, but you also, with the bottles, this is why they're kind of versatile and why I like them. You don't need a driver or turn to a Smash to use it. You can also, if you have the right body type, which I won't spoil, because Banjo early on, he just used the Dragon Bottle to increase his regular fighting because he didn't have a high enough hazard level to transform. So he would just shake it up, and then he would just punch people because he's Punchy Boy. So they're one of the most versatile items in in Kamen Rider's history, I think, personally, because you can use them in the driver, you can use them to become a monster, or you can just use them to get super powerful.
In this show, they're definitely versatile.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing with that is that each bottle, I think a bottle sort of can have it. the best match thematic is more than just like the toys. It's also like in like character moments and in like power moments. Like the reason why spoilers is the reason why Ryuga was so like attached to the Dragon Ball bottle is because that was like that was like his girlfriend's essence. Which sounds really naughty, but it's actually pretty sad. But yeah, like that's the reason why it has to do with that, like because like his girlfriend's is like life. Well, I should say his fiance because it was his fiance. Her life was drained into the bottle, and like because of the emotional attachment he has with his girlfriend, the Dragon Ball bottle was like he had a strong connection with it. Therefore, he could use it properly. It's sort of the same with like the rest. I know Kazumi seems to have a connection with the robot / jelly, and Gentoku seems to have a connection with like the crocodile crack full bottle. From what I remember.
The bottles can also like provide like different sort of finishers, and if you stick them in like a weapon or the splash driver or.
Yeah, because there's the Blizzard Knuckle and the Magma Knuckle. And they can do, what is it, like a bottle burn or a bottle freeze?
Yeah, bottle burn, bottle freeze. Like, I remember, like, Banjo, it was hard to tell from the episode, from like, what ball he was using, from, like, the way it was shot, because he just quickly stuck it in. Apparently, he was using, like, Taka the first time he used the knuckle.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Orange.
Like say he uppercuts one of the Gear brothers, and like these like flaming wings like emerge from the knuckle.
Okay,
I do love versatility like that.
Yeah, that's or like with Magnet, he stuck into the full bottle buster. He like shot it at like a couple of the one of the Guardians or smashes, and they just like. They got stuck to each other and they just crumbled in. Something like that.
Yeah, very versatile as weapons or uses. So I think that's really cool. Let's however though, go right over to should I say gorilla right over to talking about the characters in the story. So we talked a little bit about Sento. He's our hero. He has amnesia, and he's this genius who makes all this fucking shit. I love that he like makes his own weapons because because like you know what's coming up. He's like, hold on, I'm working on this sword. By the way, what's with Kamen Riders in the last few years and having 1 million swords?
I don't.
Like Zio has like 6 swords. Like just for example.
6.
Like But yeah, like he's like what'll usually happen is characters will be talking and Banjo will be like, what are you doing? He's like, shut up, I'm working on my gun.
Yeah.
I love their dynamic, by the way, between Sento and them. What did you guys think?
Sento.
Okay, do you want to go first, Riley? Or
Riley, you go first.
Sento became like tied with Koda for like my favorite main rider. I know that's cheating, but like I can't decide because Koda's a good main rider because he had like he was essentially a good main rider done like right, where he had like he had like he was a good person, but he had like people around him to challenge his morals. But like Sento is like an improvement over like the last 2 we've had. Like Takaru and Emu, they were so goody to the point of like they weren't even people. They just felt like cartoonish paragons of people, just the main riders essentially. And their ways of thinking really oh god, I'm really bad since
you want me to continue?
Yes, you continue until I can get my thoughts straight.
Yeah, all right. So, I love Sento for many reasons. One of the reasons is just his general attitude. He has an ego, and it's really entertaining how up his ass he was, and not in sort of like an annoying, pretentious way. He was just very confident. He didn't look down on people. He just knew he was smart and he flaunted it. And he was also
just like I'm a genius. That's just how it is.
Yeah, it's like, and he's very sarcastic and very snarky. He has a lot of drive.
Yeah,
absolutely adore that, and it's just such a breath of fresh air after like the last two were just your typical I'm a good person writer, but not even in the good way, just in the way of like there are like archetypes of what people think good people are, which is like I eat my vegetables. I'm a pacifist. I don't hurt animals. I don't.
Yeah, that's kind of what kind of what I'm talking about here. It's like with Sento, it's like he's snarky. He's a good person, but like he's full of himself. He makes a lot.
He has an actual goddamn personality other than just being I'm a good person, because Sento is a good person. He has a morale, and you're going to hear this a lot in the show. They say love and peace a lot. That's sort of like the main center of like Sento and his friends. And yes,
I was just going to cut in for a second. One of the things that I like about Sento, which was something I disliked about, what's his name from Kabuto? The dude from Kabuto.
Tendo,
is that they both end with O. Okay. Sento's he's snarky and he's full of himself and all these things, but he still feels like a regular dude. Tendo was just full of himself the whole time and thought he was the best. And the few times something went wrong, he like had a mental breakdown, and I hated that. I'm like, I hate it when the writer thinks their shit don't stink. Like 100%. But like I was so glad with Sento, like he was snarky, but he obviously also was down to earth, because there was a few times he like fucked up royally, and you could really tell it affected.
Oh yeah. It's kind of funny how you say that about Kabuto, because like Sento's actor has gone on saying like his favorite writer series is Kabuto.
I'm not surprised.
Sento was just such an entertaining character, and I loved his development because, don't get me wrong, as time went on, he definitely became a lot less of an ego. Like, he became a lot more down to earth as the series went on. Because at the start, he would like stroke his cock and stuff like that, saying and going crazy over like his crap. But by the last 10 episodes, he was very focused, very serious. He didn't make as many jokes because the situation was very serious, and like he just did his job, and we're very strong, and we're really strong, a strong vigor in him, and like and also Sento didn't have to fucking speechify and like make a whole like paragraph in a speech every single time he did something good, because Takeru and Emu had to give a speech every single time, like, to deliver the moral, to like put the bad guy in his place. While Sento did have speeches, they weren't very often, but when he did have the speech, it was real. It felt like he deserved to stand on that soapbox at that moment. He earned the right to get on the soapbox.
Exactly.
So,
it's like with like again, Ghost, like Ghost and X-Aid, well, Ghost especially.
No,
it's like
especially Ghost. Fuck.
Yeah, like they were. It got it got superly preachy to the point it felt like it wasn't meaningful.
They felt less like real speeches and more like a Hallmark card.
Yeah.
Dudes.
But guys, let's not turn this into another Ghost Patch Fest. Let's focus on the thing at hand. One of my favorite characters in this show I want to talk about now is Banjo Ryuga. The man with the dragon fists, and he's as dumb as a post, but he figures out all the best matches by just doing it. So I absolutely love Ryuga because like he really was the perfect counterpart to like Sento, where Sento was really smart. Ryuga was kind of dumb. I mean, he had common sense, but he was still pretty. I mean, he could still be pretty dumb about certain.
It's basically a brains versus the bronze type of thing.
Yeah, because like before the show, he was a professional boxer, so he already knew how to fight.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
and I just love how him and Sento bicker all the time.
oh yeah,
It's like
it's so good. Like
they're like a they're like a married couple.
Yeah, like
it's like at a few points I'm like, just kiss already.
Yeah, like one of my favorite moments is when the two were just they were in the room with Misora, and they were just bitching about absolutely, like, they were just trying to say, oh, I did this thing, no, I did this thing, and then Misora was just like, can you just shut the fuck up and get on what you're doing in the first place? So
that's another aspect I liked about Build. The comedy is like,
it's wonderful. It's not just dumb fucking slaps with a fucking whistle. It's actual wordplay, actual character comedy, and a lot of it's wits.
A lot of it's like banter too. Like it's just
exactly
one thing or another. And that's a breath of fresh air for this franchise. And one thing I'll say is, one thing I've started to do is, this is how you can tell I've been a little more obsessed than just being a regular fan, is I'll look at like Instagram compilations of what these guys posted on YouTube, because like this cast was very close. Like they have there's like I follow almost all the cast on Instagram just to see what fucking shit they're gonna post, because I know that there's more V cinemas and shit coming up, so I know they're gonna post more shit on Instagram, and also to support the actors and whatnot. It's great.
Yeah, actually, speaking of like the cast, like internet antics, one of my favorite moments was that like Sento and Ryu's actor, like, they recorded themselves lip syncing to Rap God by Eminem, and it was really funny.
Yeah. They did that a lot. They like use this app. It's not the app that we use here, whatever it's called. Fucking
TikTok.
It's not TikTok. It's something else they use. I guess it's like an Asian equivalent, but
Banjo, Ryuga's my favorite secondary rider. Like,
he's
Again, not to like turn this into another like ghost bashing, or just again going back to the previous two like secondary riders, they were all just like Makoto and Hiro. They were both just kind of standard generic secondary rider.
Yeah, they were. I think you mentioned this during my my stream of Climax Fighters, that they were just the standard serious second riders.
Like But Makoto especially, I'm sorry if I'm turning this into a ghost bashing fest, but like Makoto especially annoyed me with his like, oh my sins. Didn't do anything wrong.
And then Double just comes in and just count up your fucking sins already.
You said it so flamboyantly.
But like Ryuga was like, I just loved how much of a hothead he was. I just liked how stupid he was. And again, the bickering between like him and Sento is great.
I mean, my love of Banjo might be a little biased because his form and everything's dragon, and dragon is like my Chinese zodiac sign, and I love dragon shit. So like when I first saw Kroz's form, I'm like, damn, that looks cool. I want that.
Lucky you. You're a dragon. I'm a rat.
At least you're not a frog.
Just like it's like I loved a lot. I just love that. What was I gonna say? I forget. Crap.
Just love his interaction with
his interactions with Sento, Kazumi. I think even I didn't really think he interacted with Gentoku all that much.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to them eventually, but can we talk about Mii-tan?
What, sorta?
Oh yeah.
I just refer to her as Mii-tan because that's what I know her as. I love that she's originally is the one who restores the bottles, but she's also like an internet idol.
Yeah. She's like a reverse Poppy, essentially.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. where it's like Poppy was like, like what was Asuna? Asuna was like
Asuna. Well, she had two forms. Asuna, which was like the cool and collected like human form, and then like Poppy was a true bugster self, and like her attitude was like she was like an over the top Genki girl, that sort of like idol chick, which again is one of the reasons why I didn't really like Poppy at to start with, until she calmed down. When Misora, like her idols, it's just an act. It's purely an act. That's not who she really is.
Her real the Mii-tan
yeah, like her real self is sleepy, snarky, just young woman.
What's her catchphrase? I'm tired. I'm hungry. I want my paycheck.
Yeah.
She doesn't. I just love she doesn't put up with anyone's crap.
Yeah. Like she's like the normal person among like the group of eccentrics. And it really shows. I mean, she's eccentric herself, but she's like the most non-eccentric person, if that makes any sense.
Just like that like I love that. I love it's that like she's probably like my favorite like side character in Kamen Rider ever. I love
what's the favorites today from you, Riley?
Yeah. Lots of favorites, I know. It's weird.
So there was another girl. I can't remember her name now.
Sawa.
Was it Sawa? Yeah.
Yeah. She's probably my least favorite character out of the main cast. Not because she is bad, but because she's just kind of boring. I didn't particularly care too much for her arc, and she like betrayed the group like twice. Like one, she earnestly betrayed them. Second time, she
double agent that shit.
Yeah, I understand it, and I felt sorry for her. But by the second time she did it, I'm just like, okay, what are we doing now? Like honestly, like I don't hate her, but I just found her really boring. Yeah. Honestly, and it's just like she wasn't even badly written or anything like that. She's just among these group of eccentric, entertaining, and very interesting characters, she was just very plain.
Yeah.
Like and like she never really stuck out to me. Like, don't get me wrong, the group obviously cared about her, but I don't know. It's just like I just don't care. Like I really don't care. So that sounds really bad. I know she wasn't a bad character. I just didn't. Really
she didn't really do. She can occasionally get the funny line, but like I didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it.
And then there's the in the first arc, there is the what they call, I guess, the master or whatever for the front.
Okay, so are we going to talk about the entire extent of his character right now, or?
I'm not in entirety. We'll just start with who he is in the start of the show. So,
well, if we're talking about how he was at the start of the show, I did really like him. He was just sort of like this eccentric business owner that made really shitty coffee. So, and he was Masora's dad, and I like some of the wisdom he was able to give the centaur and just his general personality.
I really, really badly wanted the wolf guy from Kiva to come in and say, "Master, coffee," and they go,
yeah. Yeah, it's like when I first saw Soichi.
Yeah, Soichi.
Soichi, when I first saw Soichi, it's like I thought he was gonna be like more dumb comic relief, like with Onari and Poppy. Like he had the long stretchy face to do like mugging the camera too, but like no.
They didn't do
more
it.
More like
Yeah, none of that fucking bullshit, which I don't understand the appeal of. So
Yeah, like
They
that.
mostly gave that to Kazumin.
Yeah, they did, but that made sense for him, and it
But it
was,
was
and,
funny,
and,
yeah.
and it was like, and it was more than just goopy faces for the children. It was it was to show him being pathetic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but like, so he's just like, I love his snark. I just love like the wisdom he imparts.
Yeah.
He imparts on the Sento. It's like I kind of just love how like he just like my favorite moments is like he just gives suggestions and Sento's like, yes, master.
And I think we'll quickly move over to my favorite character of the show, and we'll just talk about his role in the first arc, Gentoku.
Gentoku is a fantastic character. I love him. I'm just a sucker for like those Toku characters with the goatees, and they look really cool and very handsome. Like if your character has a goatee and it acts cool, I'm guaranteed to love them.
Is Gentoku your secret boyfriend?
No,
Is he the husbando? What I liked about him is he started off as a character in power, like he was in government, and his father was the prime minister of that part of Japan that was split up, and he was supposed to eventually become that role. But on top of that, on the side, and we get more of this in the Kamen Rider Rogue V Cinema thing, because they part of the back.
The hyper battle.
Yeah, like the hyper battle stuff. That he also secretly was trying to control things from the shadows. He was one of the ones who was in charge of creating Faust, along with the mysterious Evault or Bloodstock, as they refer to him at this point. And he was one of the early. He was like an antagonist, but he was kind of like what's the best way I could do this? Like Chase originally was. He had like information thing, but he wasn't quite a rider at this point. Even though I still consider Night Rogue his base form, in my opinion. So he basically would he didn't transform with the belt, but he transformed with a gun and used the bat bottle. And he didn't say henshin; he says Jokets instead, which is a different thing. What does that mean again? What does that translate to? Jokets.
Jokets. I'm not sure.
Google Translate.
I think it means bloodstain or something. I'm not sure.
It's not Bearstain or blood or Berenstain. It's Bloodstain.
Did I mean yes? No, not Joketsu. God damn it! That's not. It's not female. Whatever. It's Steam something. I know. Yeah. I think I looked it up before. But yeah, he transforms with the gun, and he gets like an armored form, but it's not quite a rider. So
yeah, they're called rider-like, but they're not actually riders.
It's I compare it to Chase's because Chase wasn't quite a roid nude, but he wasn't quite a rider either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Machine Chaser is not classified as a rider. His rider form is Kamen Rider Chaser because he has like a belt and the clean look. So
but what I liked about Gentoku is you could tell that he cared about the government, but he would always push his dad, be like, "We need to get more military strong. We need to do this. We need to do that." And instead, just like, bitch, I'm the prime minister. You do what I tell you. So then he plans does he plan to kill him? I can't remember. Like something like that. Like he plans to take,
not kill him, just like I think maybe just put him out of commission for a little bit.
Yeah. Also, I'm confused. Since Toto had a prime minister, does that mean they had a monarchy?
They did kind of, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Because for those who don't know, if your government is ran by a prime minister, it's probably under like some sort of a monarchy. So,
well, no. You've got that confused. Monarchy is something like Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, I know. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like
No, I think they were more. I think they were a democracy. I think that's what they were, because obviously when we move on to Hokuto, which is the reason I said it's like North Korea is it's kind of like it's a dictatorship, for example.
Yeah, like they're communists.
It's interesting because every single region has different ways of handling government. So
I don't really know what to call Hokuto. I can't tell if it's communist or fascist. It's either one of those two things.
It's like it's
both very bad, by the way.
But yeah, like Gentoku's one of my favorite character, but I won't. We'd have to talk about spoilers, and we'll get to that. We're gonna go over the characters again as time goes on. The only other character that I can think of we really need to talk about is, I guess, Bloodstock at this point, which doesn't really have a character. He is just, I am bad guy, so I make deals with people under the table.
Like I can't really talk about Stark right now because that makes me want to talk about the full extent of his character.
Mm-hmm.
So because I have so much to say about the full extent of his character.
So let's move on to talk about that. We have the first arc is really the setup arc where most of it takes place in the first. I keep forgetting the name of it. Taito or Taito? Toto. So and the first arc, you may have heard early on in this podcast, I said I felt the first arc was really slow because the first arc is very much standard Kamen Rider affair. It's get powers, get powerful, like collect powers, whatever. It's just it's funny enough. Build starts off a lot like Ghost does, in terms of like power progression. Like it's mostly like little things. Like just getting like new best matches, for example, or getting new bottles to build up the arsenal. But then a twist kind of happens. Well, not really a twist. Some people saw it coming. I didn't see it coming. Well, I kind of did, but it's in a twist. We find out one of the good guys is actually a bad guy.
Oh noes!
Oh my god! Like, okay, so basically we find out Coffee Man's part-time job is basically being Bloodstock.
Yeah.
So, and Sento figures this out because he's a fucking genius. He leaves fake bottles out, and then they introduce my favorite form for Build, Rabbit Tank Sparkling. I love that form.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
it's really good. It's basically just it's the upgrade form, like how they click on boost for Ghost.
It's got form. It's like the Token boost, dead heat,
flame dragon, stuff like that. It's like an upgrade.
Jinba.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jinba. The Mighty Brothers Double X, essentially, they're all upgraded.
Yeah. It's basically the original power but upgraded, and I just love the way it looks with all the like jaggies and shit. Because we never really talked about what Build. He's because he uses two bottles. His body's like kind of like a smear of like the colors of the bottles, kind of like an opposite of Double, because Doubles was straight down. Each side was one color, where Builds is like, it looks like somebody smeared him with color.
Actually,
I like to compare it because Double is very symmetrical when Build is asymmetrical.
Actually, there's a funny story about that. I heard it was like apparently like the Build suit was originally a recycled a scrapped concept for Double, I think.
Oh, really?
I think that's what I've heard. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would believe it.
Makes sense.
But just to show real quick, I'll show on my screen. This is what Build looks like. Like, this is his standard form. Like, these are close-ups of him, but these are like full body shots. It's like a smear effect. Whereas if we look at something like Kamen Rider Double, you'll notice that it's straight down. Like, here's a perfect picture.
It's like I said,
color.
Double is symmetrical, Build is asymmetrical.
Yeah.
Which I actually I don't know why, but I really like asymmetrical designs. One of the main reasons why I really like Build's like design aesthetic.
Yeah. And just to show you real quick, because I'm sure people are going to wonder, this is what Rabbit Tank Sparkling looks like. It's got like the whole it's the bottle for it is like, here's the bottle here. It's like it fits both sides, and it's a big like can, and it even fizzes up like.
There's
So Rabbit Tank Sparkling is essentially what happens when you mix Coke and Pepsi. So
yeah, essentially, yeah. And just like I love how it's all jaggy on the sides and shit.
Yeah,
it's very 90s.
Yeah, well, what I love, if you notice the rabbit side, the rabbit looks really angry. It's a pissed off rabbit.
Yeah, the rabbit looks kind of pissed off. I can see it. He's even got the little eye, like I feel like I also feel like Sento was like when he was designing these, he was just like, I gotta make this a little cute.
There's like tons of power up items for the build driver. Some can upgrade, like some can actually combines the power of like the same essence into like essentially one thing. Sometimes it can just be like two essences, or in Genius's case, it's like all of this. It's like all of them.
We'll get to Genius.
How Sento made the Rabbit Tank Sparkling full bottle is that he managed to make a big full bottle, and he managed to collect some like essence that came out of Pandora's box. So essentially, the Rabbit Tank Sparkling is a mixture of some of the energy of Pandora's box with like the essence of the rabbit and tank full bottles. And that's how he essentially made it. That's why it's a lot more powerful, because it's actually some of its energy comes from Pandora's box. When the Genius full bottle is made from a full panel, and then he mixed that panel with every single sample of every full bottle, which is what made it so powerful.
Yeah.
So.
By the way, I never showed it, but this is what Croz looks like, or Croz Z, whatever you want to do.
Croz.
I just call him Croz because that's the fucking katakana.
Yeah, that's what the show. And it's hard to see. I don't have a good picture of it, but he's even got like a special thing that his bottle goes into, so he doesn't use two bottles. I think until we get to later on, Sento's the only one who uses two bottles. So like Croz has like this special thing he has to put a bottle into to transform.
Yeah.
So
actually, speaking of something I really love about the show is that they really go into detail how everything works, and I love that. Because one of my biggest problems with Geo right now is that nothing is explained. How does any of this crap fucking work? But in Build, everything is explained.
I mean, they explain how they use it, but we're not going to talk about Zio right now.
Yeah.
I'll hold back your guys' bitching when we get to that one. But like you're right. Like everything in Build is really like really built on. Like they like it's all explained because the guy who makes the stuff is the writer. So like we get full explanations on shit, and even like later when they show video logs of before he had amnesia, we get more information on how they work and all that shit.
Yeah.
So, but going back to the story, so we find out Buddy is Bloodstock, or eventually Evolt, as we know him as, and Sento tries to stop him, and it doesn't go well. And then basically the story gets turned up on its head at that point. Like that, everything goes to shit. It's basically the second. It's like the second act in a play. That's when the second arc starts. That's when everything goes to hell. And essentially, that's when Hokuto, is that what the that's when North Korea starts getting into the main story. I'm just going to refer to as North Korea because I'm going to forget it. So the reason I call them is because they're military based. They're heavily military based. The only demilitarized zone is basically their border to get in. It's kind of depressing in there to live there. So, but yeah, the next part of the story takes place there because of some of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. Riley, you might be better to explain some of the stuff going on than I am, because apparently,
All right.
yeah.
So basically, this is where we get our introduction to Kazumi. I keep mixing his name. Like I call him Kasumi, then it's like I switch between Kasumi and Kasumi.
I refer to him as Kazumi because that's what he wanted to be.
Yeah, because like it's not help that I've been hearing like there's a ton of characters have introduced to named Kasumi lately.
And the funny thing is, I kept calling him Otoya at first because I couldn't remember his name.
Oh yeah,
I'm like the same actor played Otoya in Kiva.
Yeah, which by the way, he looks great for his age. Can I just say that?
Oh my god, like because Kiva happened like 10 years ago. Like
pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much.
Like 10 years ago, from close to 9-10 years from the time they filmed Build. Yeah. So
he looks no different. I swear to God, like Japan is like a fucking like a fountain of youth or something.
Yeah,
well, yeah. The rule is you don't age until you're 80, and then it hits you like a brick. But like I mean, there's this joke in the JoJo community that the guy who writes it is a vampire because he's looked the same for the last 40 years. Oh
wow.
Yeah. So, but yeah, just to give a comparison here, I'll make this quick. This is let me just do this real quick. This is what the actor looked like back when he did Kiva, when he played Otoya, and this is what he looks like nowadays.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of difference. Obviously, he's gotten older, but like it's like you just get like
you picked up perfect script.
And yeah, I think it's funny that he also played Dark Kiva and the Village Bicycle Rider in Kiva, and now he's coming back to play, Kamen Rider Grease, which he uses the Splash driver that we mentioned before. Here it is right here. As you can see, it's got like a little lever. It uses one bottle, and its function is to basically it's like a powered up form. It's like because
it kind of works the same way as like the mock driver does.
Kind of, yeah, but like you have to have a certain like hazard level.
It actually looks because the Splash driver looks a lot like the mock driver Honor. If you actually pay attention.
It does, yeah. And the point I'm trying to get is only certain people can use it. You have to it's not like the Build driver where once your hazard level hits 3, you're good. This one, there's other requirements, because eventually.
Okay. Basically, to use the Build driver, your hazard level has to be 3. You use Splash driver, that has to be at 4.
Yeah, because Kraz has a later form that uses the Splash driver, and when he first uses it, and this happens in a lot of things in Kamen Rider, it shocks him and whatnot when he transforms.
Yeah,
so
which I love that scene because it's just one of those Toku tropes I never get sick of. So
by the way, one of my favorite looking rider suits is the Cross Z Charge one.
Yeah, Cross Charge.
It looks so cool. I like the train.
I think all 3 of us are in the crowd that actually likes Cross Charge.
Yeah, I love Cross Charge. I was so happy in the new V Cinema they did with him. He used it because I'm like, oh, can he not use it anymore? Because he stopped using it for a long time, and I thought he lost the Splash driver.
The form actually appeared in Hasten Generations Final somehow.
Mm-hmm. It did, yeah.
That movie's a train wreck, so I wouldn't even try to explain that.
Are you talking about Final or Forever? Are we talking about
Forever? The Geo Build one.
I love that movie, but I'm not going to get into it because we're not talking about ZO. Let's get back to let's get back to Kazumi and his ragtag of Smash buddies. So the writer for this part of Japan is obviously Kazumi, who becomes Kamen Rider Grease, and he has his his friends or his neighbors or whatever. They become Smashes.
Yeah,
but they're like a high level Smash or something.
Yeah, they actually have self-awareness, because a lot of the Smash, they're just they're people turned to monsters, but they don't have awareness. They just It's just they do what they want.
Yeah.
It's
the Hokuto 3 crows, which Riley and I jokingly used to call them the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trio, because their hair looks like, because like the main guy, his hair is straight out of fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! I swear to God.
yeah.
So also, this is what Grease looks like. That's just a close up, but to see, like, you see a full body shot here. Same kind of idea. The translucent head. I love the gold on him. It's just
it's
so
like,
cool.
and he uses the robot splash jelly. So which is made from the robot full bottle, which best matches with Phoenix. And can I just say that Phoenix Robo is probably my favorite normal best match, because it's a Phoenix and a robot. How is that not cool?
It's hard for me to think of my best matches. My favorite best matches. I think it's a toss between the Indian Comic and Kaizoku Resha.
That'd be pretty cool.
My favorite's Hot Gatling.
Yeah, no, actually, Zero, actually show Phoenix Robo, because I want to see.
Let me show Phoenix Robo. Okay,
it's such a cool suit.
Build Phoenix. This is another thing that I want to show too about this, and I'll just show compared to something like Double, where it was just the colors. There's actually changes in the suit. This is Phoenix Robo. Each part is is distinctive, and that's what I like about it. And then there's stuff like what was the one you wanted? Hawk Gatling was the one you were talking about, right?
Yeah,
Hawk Gatling, he gets fucking wings, and he has a gun that he can shoot whatnot. Also, the most broken power to use in Climax Fighters, by the way, because you can just jump and use it.
I just like it's I like stuff that can fly, so and also he's got a cool Gatling gun.
Here's a close up of the gun. He can spin it. It's got a spinner that he can use. Again, Sento makes all this shit, so he makes all his own weapons. So it's he gets some kind of weird inspiration by the bottles, and he makes them, and he gets obsessed with it. That's one thing we forgot to talk about his character. He's obsessed with his own work.
He's kind of up his own ass. But in a charming way. So in the same way, for some reason, I love Tsukasa. He's up his own ass.
Yeah. So. But back to the story. So they've been ordered. Grease and the Smash Brothers, or whatever, the Smash Brothers
trio,
the Smash Brothers, Scott.
Smash Brothers,
not those Smash Brothers. The Smash Trio are basically ordered to take out Sento and Banjo. And this is the part, okay, I may have to get one of you guys to take over, because this is the part of the series where I'm a little fuzzy until the big shit happens.
Basically, their order, they're basically Grace is their Kamen Rider, the Smash Trio are his followers, and they're basically ordered to kill Sento and Ryuga. They're in charge of leading their side, and they hijack a television station saying you know what, you stay inside, you know what, we won't bring any harm to you, but as soon as you step out into the battlefield, you're an open target.
Basically telling people to stay at home unless you want to get killed.
The whole thing about it is that Hokuto, the Hokuto Prime Minister, who she's a crazy fucking lady. I'll just say that right now.
Yeah, she's fucking nutso.
Sorry about that. Really bad heart, man. So she's crazy, and she basically hires Kazumi and the Three Crows to fight for them in the war, because something you'll notice about at least Gentoku, the Hokuto Prime Minister, and the Sato Prime Minister is that they're all hell bent of going to war with everyone else. They're hell bent towards bloodshed, and there's a reason for that. And so she really wants to start war, and the only reason why he didn't start for a while is because the Tokyo Prime Minister is the only one that was not affected by what caused this desire. Gentoku was the one affected by it. He's the one that wanted to call it the start instead. they wanted to go. She wanted to go to war with Toto because she wanted Toto's land because for some reason we humans we just want more land. You guys ever heard of the Spratly Islands? Trust me, it's confusing.
And they're also trying to gather like all the full bottles from like each nation, which by the way, it's actually something we didn't talk about. Like there's 60 bottles, but like 10 of them are split among they're all split among the nation. Like you get 20, like this nation gets 20, this nation gets 20, and this nation gets 20.
And they all plug into the Pandora box. The panels on the Pandora box to basically charge it up, I guess.
Yeah.
Is what the thought is?
It's interesting. Like, it gets into spoilers, but essentially, like, the bottle needs elements from the planet. So, because each full bottle has an element that was on the planet, you know, like our animals, our objects, they're all things made on Earth, essentially. And, like, connecting them to the Pandora box, essentially, because the Pandora box is the reason why the Skywall is even a thing. So, the more panels you add with the bottles, the more the Skywall grows. And it created like this giant, complicated coliseum, essentially by the end of it. So, yeah, and like the main villain wanted to do that for nefarious reasons, of course, because he's the villain. Yeah, so that's the whole thing there. So, but going back to the second arc with invading Toto, she just wanted to go to all of them. She wanted to own Toto. So she hired them. Now, I think they were basically forced to, because, like, if they didn't comply, then I think she would basically annihilate all of their family, all of their workers. Because Kazumi and the three crows, they were potato farmers. And, like, so she threatened to kill the rest of, like, his potato farming crew if he didn't fight. Because I think Kazumi used to also be a soldier.
Yeah.
Like, he has like a soldier's philosophy. If you haven't, if you
that's
this is the part of the series where it becomes straight up war. Like, in the first arc, it was just like I said, it was very formulaic. But in this arc, it's all about now. It's like now there's big stakes. Like there's a war going on. Shit. I think one of the things that gets introduced in this arc is an item that I think Sento created it. I'm pretty sure he did. That basically he can't control, at least not.
The hazard trigger. I believe because like at this point you already know, but Sento used to be someone else. His entire past is that he used to be someone else. I forget their name right now.
Katsuragi Takumi.
Yeah, that he really is. Because what happened is that Katsuragi was called the Demon Scientist because he was doing a lot of sort of fuck shit, basically. Science, crazy scientist guy, and like Bloodstar wanted something from him. I forget right now what he wanted, but essentially what happened, and this is how, because we forgot to mention this, but in the first arc, Ryuga was framed for murdering for murdering a Katsuragi, I believe.
Yeah, he was framed for murdering Katsuragi. But like, basically, like Sento's previous identity, who was this crazy like rocker dude on crack.
No, that again, no. Okay, what happened? Because Stark is very powerful. He has the ability to manipulate faces. So what he did is that like he knocked Katsuragi out. He killed the crazy rocker dude, and then he swapped their faces, placed rocker dude's corpse in Ryuga's apartment, pretending to be Katsuragi. And then he took Katsuragi and swapped his face with the rocket dude, making him Sento, and that's what gave him amnesia. And then when Ryuga came back, he was framed for killing Katsuragi, even though that wasn't Katsuragi. That was the Rocky dude who now has Katsuragi's face. It's kind of, and you have to watch the show to fully understand, because they explain it better than I do. And because I'm trying to condense like a whole 12 episodes of plot into like a summary.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Some of this is going to be very summarized. So basically, the end result will be like watch the show to get more. But yeah, like in terms of like with the second arc, like going back to the hazard trigger, it's an item that powers up the bottles. It makes them super best matches, but after a certain amount of time, the user basically becomes like
insane. He can't tell between friend or foe.
Yeah, he becomes. It makes him go aggro and makes him very bloodthirsty. They just want to attack.
Like basically his brain shuts off and goes.
Yeah,
into, I hit you now mode.
And like he basically goes into like the fight or flight instinct, but of course it goes to fight.
And I'm trying to remember if that's when he activates it. Yeah, he activates it once and he kills one of the because they get an upgrade, which basically means they get stronger. But if they die, like if they lose, they're dead. Essentially,
because that's the hazard form is Build super form. You know, it's his like Tajador or like his magnet states essentially. So that's hazard. Yeah, and so he kills the blue crow because each one of them is like one of the 3 primary colors, you know, red, yellow, and blue.
Yeah.
The blue one, and Sento, he had no choice in this. He was not thinking, and I believe RyeGuy managed to get him to dehenshin, and then Sento just has to sit there watching him die, and he realized, oh shit, I actually killed someone.
That
my intention, and like that absolutely destroyed him inside. Like that removed all of his will. He didn't want to fight. He didn't want to do anything, and like that was one of the best moments in the show for me.
And this is one of the things that I love about the acting of the show. Like it's just like the actor who played Sento like perfectly portrayed not knowing how to show your show your emotions in a good way. Like I'm saying, like anybody who has anxiety, like and has ever had an anxiety attack, knows that like you don't know how your emotions are either like intensified or they're to a point where you don't know how to emote to get them out. And the actor did a really good job of showing the intense version of that, of like, because there's a point where he goes back to the site where the person died and trying to like give flowers, and he's shaking while he's trying to do this because he's so fucked up about what happened.
And like there's like a hallucinate or mirage like of like the person he killed right in front of him. He just jumps back. Like terrified, like that's
like Sento has like guilt-driven like anxiety or PTSD. From like it fucked him up.
Yeah, it really goes back to like because the series thematics really is that it's staunchly anti-war for obvious reasons, of course.
Yeah,
it's like and because again the mantra of the show is love and peace. You know, I understand that they even say it in the show Sento like at one point in the show, Gentoku criticizes Sento's love and peace mantra and like saying that it's very naive and very juvenile, and like Sento is like yes, I know it's very naive and juvenile, but I'll prove to you that like I can make it something that is real, something that's not just silly, not just a dream. And that was a really good speech from him in that episode. So like I love that the show acknowledges that love and peace sounds really silly and hallmarky, but they actually make it endearing. They actually make it something you want to fight for. Yeah. And it's great. That's one of the reasons why I love this show so much. So
it's self-aware with its platitudes about
silly platitudes. Like it proves to you that you can do this well. You can make it feel real. You can make it not feel like a Nick Jr. cartoon.
Just really quick here. This is what the hazard form looks like. This is the super rabbit tank, for example.
Yeah.
And that little thing there, that's the trigger. I can show you guys a better picture.
Yeah,
this is the toy advertisement, but this goes in the top of the build driver and basically enhances whatever bottles that Sento's using. Again, with the risk of him going berserk.
Yeah, but when you look at it close, it looks like an eagle's head.
It does kind of, yeah.
And now you'll never be able to unsee it.
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so when that gets introduced, the reason I want to talk about that too is because eventually things come to a head in the second arc where, first off, Kazumin's pissed because he killed his friend.
Yeah.
And they decide to have a final showdown.
A proxy battle.
Yeah,
basically.
Essentially for who wins the war, which would be great if more wars could be won like that.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, they have a battle atop this really cool set piece. I gotta say that
I really like that. Granted, if that was actually real, you wouldn't catch me out because I'm afraid of heights.
Yeah, I used to be afraid of heights. I still am a little bit, but but yeah, they do this. They have they're up on top of this big tower thing, and it's raining, and it's cool, and it I don't know, Sento tries his best not to use the hazard trigger in that fight, but when it comes down to it, I think even Rabbit Tank Sparkling isn't strong enough to go against the Splash Driver stuff. It's powered up, but it's not powered up enough to take on that level of hazard. So he has to resort to the hazard trigger, and goes berserk a little bit, but then eventually things sort of work out, and he wins. Again, I'm fuzzy on this part of the story. So.
Basically, Ryuga finally gets control of a cross charge. He's able to handle it a lot better because he had difficulty at first.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, because we forgot to mention that the Splash Driver sort of makes you go a bit kind of not in the same way that the hazard trigger does, where you become mindless. It's more like that you become more obsessed with fighting if you keep using it. And it makes you, so with the hazard trigger, it makes you like you don't even speak. You're just a growly, focused mess that just wants to punch and destroy things.
Yeah. But
you can still talk, you can still think, but it still makes you want to fight.
I think during one of the fights too, when Ryuga was fighting things, he's like, "Don't stop me! I gotta punch these things." And then somebody's like, "But why are you punching them?" And then he's like, "Oh yeah, good point." He just stops, but yeah, it makes you battle hungry, and that's didn't help with Kazumin because he was already grieved and enraged because Bill killed his friend, and he wanted revenge. And then plus with the Splash Driver, he his revenge became more battle hungry. So it all came full circle. The second arc is just it messes with the characters a lot. I said, it's like the second act in a play. Everything goes to shit. So and the stakes get raised. But this is when the second arc is when the show became a lot. When I became a lot more invested in the show, because like I said, the first arc I was just whatever. And this one really got me invested in it. Is there anything else about this arc that notable that we need to discuss? Or?
Well, I'll say this. It's not necessarily important, but it does lead into one of the hazard fights does lead into oh wait, no, actually that's during the Seikyo stuff. Never mind. But one of my favorite parts was Kazumi's reaction to losing the blue crow. That's because I can't remember his name right now. He was visibly upset and angry about it, but he never really treated Sento shit for it, because he knew that this was a casualty of war.
It's and I like that moment where despite the other two crows getting angry, they were
like it was your generic anime Japanese, like over the top. How dare you! I'll punch you in the gamma for doing that.
Yeah, I love that moment where he's just holding them back, like he has this like blank expression on his face.
Yeah, like he's obviously visibly upset and disgusted by it, but like he knows that this is what happens when you go to war, because we know war is hell.
Yeah.
I just think of that Ace Ventura clip.
But yeah, Riley, anything more you want to say about the second?
Just like it was kind of a neat way. It was showing like how like it brought out like the worst in people. It brought out like like the worst in like of Sento to an extent, like it brought out the worst of Ryu. It's like, but like I think the ones who were like the ones who got this mode, like it brought out the worst of like Gentoku and especially like the crazy Hokuto lady.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember her name, so.
Can I just say that one of my favorite moments was like when Bloodstar he wanted to know their hazard levels, so he just like did like the Mega Man slide, like you see, and then he just smacked their calves and just goes, "That's your hazard level. That's your hazard level. That's your hazard level." I thought that was funny.
Yes.
Like he did the Mega Man slide and just smacked their calves in order just to find it out. It was comedic to me.
Oh, yeah.
But oh wait, no, that's good to say for the third arc. Should we hop into the third arc?
Yeah,
the arc about Sato. Is it Sato?
Yeah.
So Sato is kind of the so far in the story has been the quiet part of Japan. The one that the leader is patient and he's waiting for his opportunity. And when I think this arc starts off with Hokuto's in shambles and they ask for help, and then they're just like, "Fuck you, we're taking over."
Yeah.
So yeah, they waited for somebody to show weakness, and that's when they took their chance to strike. And that this arc introduces a couple of interesting things. It starts off with one of the big things it introduces is my boy Gentoki's finally his rider form.
Kamen Rider Rogue. It also introduces the Gear Bros. Like
the Gear Bros,
which are based off of the Kaiser system from Heisei Generation's Final.
Mm-hmm.
Which I did like that little throwback. Like I kind of like how they canonize these movies in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're like Ryuga mentions like, hey, isn't that the Kaiser system that that one guy built? I forget his name, Mogami. Yeah.
I forgot that was in the movie.
Which that was actually a good way of like trying to like bring him back. The Gear Bros have there's not much to go over. They don't really have that much character. They're just they're just evil. They're just evil for the sake of evil.
Yeah. Something I never showed beforehand. So this is Gentoku's Night Rogue form. This is the pre-rider form. You notice there's like a little gun attachment here.
Yeah.
Here's just like a little close-up of it. Well, that's not a good picture, but God, these are all small pictures. That's not a good picture either. That's what Bloodstock looks like on the right there, and then that's Night Rogue. And they both use the same thing to transform. And then this is what his rider form looks like with the Splash Driver. This is Kamen Rider Rogue. Respect. I love what this person named this says. And yes, he uses the Splash Driver, as you can see in these images.
By the way, if you look at the back of his helmet, it has like a caution fragile logo on the back of his head.
Yeah,
if you can find it.
I mean, like you could argue that takes away like the menace, but like I think it's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can find a picture. There it is.
Caution fragile.
God damn it! Why did this picture come up?
Ha!
You fucking pony nerds. But one thing I really like about it is he uses a special full bottle that's cracked. I guess.
It's called the crocodile crack full bottle, which just is funny because there actually are two drugs called crocodile and crack. So it's like you mix the two drugs into the full bottle, and you just have like a drugged up full bottle.
Yeah,
crocodile crack best match.
Well, actually, the best match with crocodile is remote control or Remocon. But
Shut
like
up, it's crack.
They unfortunately never made those bottles. Unfortunately,
there were a few bottles. They didn't make Scorpion and Gold. They didn't make Crocodile and Remocon.
Now, were these build forms that showed up?
No, and they also didn't make Kuryu and F1. So.
Yeah, like
and funnily enough, the Kuryu full bottle actually had like a proper like evolved Kuryu in the Evolve driver. So yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. But I mean, like, I understand why because if it didn't show up in the show as being used, there's no reason to put it in to make a toy of it. It's stupid for that for that reason. It makes sense, but for aesthetically, it should be a toy. But who knows? Like with all the stuff that they're doing with toys now, they could always come out with like a little sound chip in the bottom or something.
I've thought of like trying to make like my own custom full bottles, but like I don't really know how to. So
you'd probably have to get somebody to 3D print them. Or what you could do is like use the track. I've seen people hack the tracks before, like when Build was like, I saw videos from before Build came on, is like they would make their own tracks, because I don't know if you can tell from here on the webcam, but as you can see, they have like a track motion, and it slides in and kind of does like a pin press thing.
It's the same system that the rushes and the shift cars use.
Oh, a ton of things use these. But
and the Rider Watches are actually currently using that for the GQ driver.
It's kind of funny. It's like Loop, because like Loop and Ranger versus Power Ranger was starting to air.
Loop did that too. So
yeah, just for example, I have like my Shinobi watch here, and it's the same thing. It's got the little track system, but obviously, these are different sizes, so like, they don't fit together. I tried putting a full bottle into my GQ driver, but it doesn't fit, and I know some of them.
It kind of fits. I actually managed to get something out of like my GQ driver by using like the Takafu bottle. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah. But back on like the arc here for a sec. It introduces Rogue, it introduces the Gear Bros, and Cosmine's now aligned with the members of Toto now.
Yeah, and we get a little bit of the backstory of Gentoku, what happened to him, and his new alliance with Sato instead of Hokuto. And I can't remember what it was. Like, he basically, like, I think he got disowned by...
his father kicked him out near the end of, like, the second arc, or he just, because of all the shit he's been pulling, and he's like, get out of Toto. You're no longer my son.
Yeah, that's sort of like generic bullshit, but yeah.
Does he lose the steam gun?
No, it was taken by like the nerdy tech guy, because he was Utsumi a couple of times. Yeah, him.
Yeah. We forgot to talk about Utsumi.
Utsumi.
Basically, Utsumi is the tech guy for Faust.
He's also like the main toady for like a number. So like, and he later becomes Kamen Rider Mad Rogue, which I still love that name, Mad Rogue.
And this arc, we learn about Namba Industries and what there actually are too. So but yeah, like this is like with this arc, it just kind of like it continues on from the previous arc and introduces more stuff. Like we talked about the Steam Brothers or the Gear Brothers and Kamen Rider Rogue, but it also introduces a new power up for Sento. And where he finally realizes he's been going about it all wrong with the hazard trigger. So he tries something he never thought of. Of course, they have another battle to settle, like who owns what part of.
Like a second proxy battle.
Yeah, in a gymnasium somewhere.
That I don't think I've really seen that set before in anything from Toku. That gymnasium.
A lot of the sets in this show are kind of new. Like I don't recognize them from anything else. So
yeah, because like you'll notice, like in Rider and Sentai, they'll just use the same sets.
Yeah.
For stuff, which I don't necessarily mind, but like it's always nice to see like versatility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and actually reminds me of a scene from like Akiba Ranger, because Akiba Ranger did a lot of things where they pointed out a lot of the sets. Like they went to like a certain road, and like it was a funny scene because the main character was trying to like mimic like a scene from like an old Sentai.
It was a scene from Time Ranger, and like he didn't. It was supposed to rain, so he took like a bottle of like ramen or something all over himself.
And then they had to run away because like a truck was coming up the road.
Yeah, it's like I tell you what the scene really is, but like I don't want to spoil a Time Ranger for you guys. So
yeah. So they have another proxy battle, and it's they're the Steam Bros and Rogue to finish it off.
And it's basically a 3-on-3 match.
Yeah, and of course at this point we've gotten some more stuff with Kazumi finally joining the Hokuto guys and also being part of the intro during the jump part. And I love how his interaction with Mii-tan. Like,
I
just wanted to comment on that because one thing we forgot to mention is his nerd thing is he's obsessed with Mii-tan.
He's an idol otaku, essentially.
Yeah, you know all about that.
And but here's the thing, like this is actually he's actually meant to poke fun of like the idol otaku side, because a lot of Japanese
those people are very toxic. So if you know anything about the Japanese idol industry, you would understand.
Yeah.
So
because like not to jump. I'm sorry if we're jumping into Love Live here for a second, because like one of the seiyus for Love Live, she announced that she was in a relationship. And unfortunately,
no, when you're an idol.
Yeah, that's a no when you're an idol, at least according to like her fans. They got so angry they started burning merchandise of her. Just
but it was ridiculous because she is a seiyu, not an idol, but they treated her like an idol anyway, which was stupid.
It's that's the whole thing about idol culture in Japan. It's a whole thing. Like they've
and that's kind of what Build calls out with characters like Kasumi.
Yeah, because like he was like at one point like one of like the Hokuto Crow's last they asked him sincerely like are you going to try and date her? And he proceeded to leap out of like the barbershop chair and go, "No, Mii-tan is everyone's idol." It's that very collectivist, disgusting, toxic thing that idol.
He makes it so funny.
Yeah.
I like that moment where Sento, where one of the moments where like Sento and Ryuga like encounter him. He's just like, "I got one question to ask you. How do you know Mii-tan?" And they're just like, that's not really her. That's just someone who looks like her. She gets it a lot. It's like, Thank God.
Oh yeah, and I remember at one point, like, he was going to join them, but then they pulled out like a Mii-tan body pillow, and he said, "Nope, I can't do it now unless you give me the body pillow."
Oh my god, that was so great.
Yeah. Just yeah. He Kazumi's now aligned with Toto. He actually loses the remaining two crows, and that's what leads into the proxy fight. And also, Sento discovers that there is a way to control himself from the hazard trigger.
But back to the story. So while this is going on, we're learning more and more about what were they called?
Namba.
Namba Industries, and that they're like basically funding the whole war, essentially. And
it's run by this old guy who, from the looks of it, I don't really think he's gonna be. He's not too long for this world.
Yeah. Yeah, and but like it's just like standard stuff like with being funded by a company that makes weapons or shit or whatever.
Yeah, it's I think
Faust, stuff like that.
Funded Faust. He also makes some of the Guardians. I believe. Just stuff for war.
Yeah, essentially. And we find out that he has a bunch of adopted kids that he basically brainwashed and trained to be his personal spies. Which leads back to what's his name? I can't think of his name now. Glasses Boy.
Oh, Utsumi, yeah.
Utsumi. And the one girl, Rina, I want to say her name is. I can't remember her name.
Sawa, you mean? Or?
Yeah, Sawa.
Yeah, basically him and Sawa, they're children of Namba.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah, like Namba, it's this weird sort of. It was like an orphanage, but they were like training kids to like follow some sort of ethical code. It was really creepy and disturbing. I don't really know what kind of commentary it's making with that, but yeah.
Yeah, it was just something that kind of explained like why she originally was like a double crosser, and that comes to backfire because she turns out to be a double agent, because they know ahead of time before this battle what Sento's new form is, because they got the information from her. But what she doesn't tell them is that it has another mode. So just to go right into it, the way he figures out how to use the hazard triggers properly is to use, I guess it's like a double bottle, or what is it called?
The full rabbit tank bottle.
Yeah, so essentially what it does is instead of doing rabbit and tank, he just does rabbit and rabbit, which basically, I guess, because I guess the hazard trigger doesn't like it when you combine two different things, or it just kind of generically powers it up. But
I know that they explain it pretty well. Is that the build driver is meant to match organic and inorganic substances. When you try to mix two organic substances, what happens is that the second organic substance is like just drained into the original organic substance, and it can't actually make a best match, or you can't actually use it. So, and what he noticed was that because we haven't really explained, but Misora she has this bangle. It's what allows her to like purify floorboards, but this bangle came from Mars, and she's essentially possessed by the Queen of Mars, named Vernage. Yeah. And she is inside her. That's what gives her all these powers. And Vernage's powers allowed allowed it to temporarily basically copy rabbits on Sento's suit, so it was Rabbit Rabbit, and it ended up cancelling out Hazard's side effect. But what he noticed is that for a moment, the suit was working, but he wasn't going crazy anymore, and that gave Sento the idea to he could have all the benefits of Hazard without the negatives. So that's why he made the Rabbit Rabbit Tank full bottle. And so he could match the same substance together, make it powerful, and he wouldn't have the side effects. And Build is weird because this essentially introduced the upgraded super form. They added another layer of powers to the show.
Yeah.
And this will continue because they did it in Geo 2 where it goes Geo, Decade Armor, Geo 2, Geo Trinity, and then Grand Geo. Geo Trinity is Geo's upgraded super form, essentially. They're now adding another big form to the show, which I don't really know how to feel about, but that's just what they're doing now, probably to sell more toys.
Yeah, not to get into Geo too much, but I always found the Decade Ride Watch to be a lot like the Hazard Trigger, just upgrades the things. So it's an upgrader, I guess you could call it. I don't know.
Because the Decade Armor is Geo's upgrade form.
Yeah. So, but anyways, back to Build. So the first thing we get to see is his Rabbit and Rabbit form, which it basically just is. It's the Hazard form, but he hops into these pieces of red armor.
Yeah. I absolutely I love those two forms. They're great designs.
Yeah, and I'll just show you guys real quick. That's Rabbit and Rabbit, and then also he has Tank and Tank. So they both they use the full power of the bottles that they're part of and take advantage of the Hazard Trigger's upgrade.
Yeah, essentially that's what it does. Because Sento was actually able to. It actually came back to him. Came back to Sento to do that because that's what he had to do for RyeGuy. Because the Cross Dragon essentially
the Cross Dragon allowed him to essentially mix one element with the other. Well, not the other. Bleh. Just as to mix one element to make power both. I can't explain this properly.
It's all right, man. It's all right. But what I will say is they knew because of this, the Sato people knew about Rabbit and Rabbit form, but they didn't know about Tank and Tank. And the difference was because it's a tank. It was just basically a powerhouse.
Yeah. It's because near the end of the episode Rabbit Rabbit debuts and knocks Rogue out of the stadium or gym, whatever. Part, I guess you could say part 2 continues off where it left off. Next episode continues where that left off, and Utsumi sends Rogue the data. He's able to counter Rabbit with the dime, which it's I kind of didn't expect that. It's okay, I did. It's but it's still kind of interesting. We just saw this foreign kick the crap out of Rogue. Now here's Rogue kicking the crap out of it during its first battle.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you very much for explaining that. I know that you're usually the pun guy, but I got you covered this time.
Oh, fuck you.
But yeah, so that battle ensues, and then one thing we forgot to mention. Oh my god, excuse me. One thing we forgot to mention is Gentoku willingly joined them to gain power so he could become Kamen Rider Rogue. But he's also being he's also on a leash, essentially. They can, they come in whenever he goes crazy or doesn't follow their rules.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, they somehow got a chip inside him, and if he if he turns on them, he acts of his own free will. One push of a button, he's dead.
Yeah, I do like, and this is just like because this isn't part of the series, but I do like in the V cinemas or whatever they made with him, the Kamen Rider Rogue stuff. It shows how dark he becomes.
Okay, I'm back.
Like
Yeah, just like
it shows like how like because they in one of those they basically put it in a life or death like cage match between whoever's going to finally get to use the splash driver and the crocodile bottle. But like he like eventually like the whole chip thing just goes away. I think like there's like a remote or something.
Sento was able to count. Well, basically, the chip is activated by a remote that, two remotes that Utsumi and Stark or Stalcab, whatever you tomato. But like during like the fourth arc, like Gentoku asked Sento to help not necessarily help get rid of it, but just help make something to help block out the signal so they can't use it anymore.
Because that would be really ineffective in a battle if all of a sudden one of the people is like down and then the other two have to protect him. But yeah, I guess we can hop into the with the final arc because I'm still a little fuzzy on this. Like, does like I'm trying to remember if like Evolt like baits Sento into making the Evolt driver, or what happened?
He basically what has like Katsuragi apparently hid the Evolt driver in like that thing like that's used to make the full bottles.
Mm-hmm.
No, what happened, and it is follows, but this connects back to Evolt and Sento's father. When Evolt was sucked into the Pandora's box, he essentially lost a lot of what originally was himself. And when the Pandora's box was found, he possessed Soichi. One part of him managed to possess Soichi. And when he went back down to Earth and he caused the Skywall incident to happen, he found Sento's father and he convinced him, to make full bottles and then to try to repair the Evolve driver. But Sento's father went behind his back and fucked his plans up. So, yeah. Because the Evolve driver was always on Evolve. So we don't know who made the Evolve driver. We don't know how it works. We do know, though, that the build driver was based off of the Evolve driver. We know that. That's where the original idea came from. Because I think Sento's father made the blueprints for it or something like that. And then, Katsuragi ended up taking the blueprints and making the build driver. So...
yeah.
Oh, okay. So, and that's like... I'm trying to remember, like, Gentoku, does he switch sides when his father gets killed, or?
Essentially, I think,
yeah. Well, actually, basically he sticks around, during the fourth arc, he sticks around for a bit, not because he wants to, but like, he just sort of acts as like a bit of a spy. For a bit, and he actually, informs Sento that, Stark switched. Stark killed the original prime minister of Sato, and he just switched out his face with the Namba old guy. Just call him Old Man Namba.
Yeah, well, man, yeah, I forgot about that.
And yes, essentially he's sticking around as a bit of a spy because, like, it's clear that he wants to turn over a new leaf. Yeah, he can't quite turn on them just yet because of the chip. But he's ordered to capture his father, bring him to Stark, and essentially just hold him hostage in order to get the Evolt driver, back together. Yeah.
Okay. So who had the Evolt driver? Did he have it the whole time?
No. Again, like the Evolt driver, it was parts of it were hidden inside the giant machine that Sora used to like purify the full bottles.
Oh, okay.
Like Katsuragi hid them in there, and then once Sento remembered where he originally hid them, he pulled it out, and then he put it back together I forget why he had to put it back together, but yeah.
He had to put it back together because, well, again, they were holding like the Gentoku's dad hostage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were. So essentially, he had no choice but to find it and put it back together. So,
Also,
but
I just want to say the last arc of Build is the most bizarre. The weirdest shit happens, which I'm sure RyeGuy is going to start talking about here soon. So I'll let it go back to you.
So basically, yeah. They try to forge together a plan. Sento helps manage to block out the chip inside Gentoku. They try to get the Evolt driver away from Stark, but eventually, without how do I say this? I don't want to spoil anything with but like
we're at the point where you can do spoilers. So
all right. When they're outside, Rogue follows him. He basically brings it to this car that Sao and Misora are at, and
God, your memory is photographic. I don't remember Build this well.
Well, my memory is photographic, but like I'm not good with describing how this went down. So that's
do you legit have like a photographic memory?
I kinda.
Well, that's cool. I wish I had one.
Oh man, I wish
that's.
Anyways,
I can't exactly describe what my memory is like, but like it's like a vague. It's very vague. Essentially, I can remember like parts of what happened. Basically, Gentoku chases down Stark. He knocks Stark out of his blood Stark form, and he's back to. This is where Misora just sees like her dad is Stark. Utsumi just manages to grab her, take the Evolt jar, just give it to Stark, and that's when he's boom, a vault. Essentially.
Well then. So then, yeah, we finally get our final boss of this show showing up. Bloodstark becomes a Volt, and he's kind of overpowered. But I mean, it's him being complete again. So
yeah, like I love that suit. I love all of these suits. It's great.
Yeah, essentially,
Evolt's the only one I have a problem with because there's too much going on the suit, in my opinion. Like up to this point with Build stuff, it's been very stylized and like put apart here, but like Evolt kind of like goes crazy with it. It's the only rider suit I have a problem.
I just like the aesthetic. It's like, you know, like those big, like golden sort of like ring planetary solar system displays they have like in museums. That's what he's basically based on, and I really like that aesthetic. So,
just to show, this is what Evolt looks like, and here's a close up, and it's just, I don't know, there's just too much going on there. So
I know, I absolutely love it.
It's too busy for me. Another thing I wanted to point out, and I don't know why I stopped screen sharing at this, but the Evolt driver is a little different. It's a lot like the Build driver, but it's different colors, and obviously the toy makes different sounds.
Yeah, like it's actually voiced by Evolt's voice actor himself, and he goes "chow" and an evil laugh. I love that, by the way.
The only ones that can form. He also has these things called like the Evolt bottles.
Okay. One, the character's name is Evolt, but it's the Evol driver and the Evol trigger and the Evol bottles. Don't use the T. It's just Evol.
Sorry.
Don't get me started on the foes thing, dude.
Evol bottles. Essentially they're kind of like full bottles, but like they're actually in like the shape of the animals. They actually like have like these little like things where it's like the mouths move up and down, or like the top of the mouth. It's actually kind of cool. But
that's the gimmick with like
on its own, it's you can't really do much of it. But once you put in the ball there, it does like the mouth open, mouth close thing. It's actually not too bad.
Yeah, you can if you actually hold the Evol bottles closed, you can actually do the shaking of the full bottles. So
yeah. And just show it. These are upside down, obviously, because they show up different in the driver. But like these things move. So here's a bunch of them just there. Like they work similar to the full bottles, but obviously they're different.
The only ones that can really form an Evol match, but not an Evol match. The evolution are Rabbit, Tank, Dragon, and Lock with the rider system.
Kuryu can too. Of course, there's no Kuryu Evol bottle, or Kuryu full bottle for that matter.
So okay, so like, and do the Evol bottles do anything in the build driver?
Yes, they do. They do Evol matches. All they do is the difference between them and that is that, for example, like so you know how in the build driver it's a mix of English words and Japanese words.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in Evol driver it's swapped around. For example, so Taka in Evol driver is hawk. Comic in Evol driver is manga. So
okay, do they get best matches in the?
It's called. What it does, it goes like ninja, manga, Evol match, and then it says the name, and then it goes nin comic, and then it goes That's what it does.
Oh, really? So the best matches do work, and I thought they did.
They say they just say the name of the best match, no jingles. It just says the name, then evil laugh.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and if you put like the rider system Evol bottle won't do much with like it says Kamen Rider in the build driver, but rider system.
Yeah, and if you mix a full bottle with the rider system Evol bottle, whatever it's called, it will do like a creation, which is basically an attack.
Yeah.
Like, so when Evol put like the Taka full bottle in with like the rider system Evol bottle, it did a creation and he was able to summon the Hawk Gatlinger somehow. But
which that kind of confused me because like didn't Sento build these weapons?
Yeah, like did he somehow manage to shrink that thing and put it inside the Taka Evol bottle so whenever he uses it, it would just be summoned in the system? I don't really know how that worked with the Evol bottle, but it doesn't really matter. It's all semantics. So
but yeah, like and the main thing about this final arc is, I think the theme of the final arc is evolution because like Evol keeps getting stronger and stronger, like very rapidly. And there are points where, like I said, weird stuff happens. Like he takes over people and uses their bottles to increase the power of his sin. He starts saying like phase 2 complete or any of this shit. Like, but
this is where we also get introduced to a couple new forms, not just for Evol, but like Sento's final form, that being Genius, and also Ryuga's Craw's Magma.
By the way, I just love how like when that comes up, like it's like the entire time I'm watching this, I'm like, oh, look at this final villain. He's talked about how powerful he is. I'm like, I haven't seen the final form yet. Final form hasn't happened. And then like it's just like I just love. I think in my head, Sento's like, so yeah, this is cute. You've got this driver or whatnot that I put back together. I'm a genius. So it's I win.
Yeah.
And I just love how like it's like screw the hazard trigger, screw all this other shit. I just made a new boss. I'm a genius.
Yeah,
like I love that.
Yeah,
but they
basically
in the series they downplay like how good Genius is because it never loses a fight that I could tell, and unless it was Sento specifically losing it, and like it's powerful, like it's very friggin' powerful. Like it technically has the power of all the bottles, which is something they do in a lot of the
actually, if you look at the stats, Bill Genius is statistically less powerful than Tank.
Well, in raw power maybe, but.
Yeah, but the thing about I love Genius form. I do love that suit. I really wish that every single time he moved, the bottles would rattle. That's just me.
Yeah. I also, but like, I also kind of wish like he did other things, not just like summon their power. But like, I also wish he did like, summon weapons. Like,
yeah.
Like if there's one like again like this is the same problem I sort of have with like Cosmic States is that like. He can like mix any bottle powers. Like for example, like in Forza, Cosmic could like he once mixed like Freezer with like Launcher, and he launched freezing missiles. But he only ever does stuff like that once. He never does it again for some reason. And the same same problem I have with Cosmic States I have with Genius. Like I want to see him, like mix like Hedgehog with like with Gatling, so you can shoot, like Gatling, hedgehog quills or something like that. That would be cool, but of course he doesn't ever do stuff like that, which is sad.
Yeah. This is where we also get introduced to Kraz's Magma, my favorite form from of Kraz's forms anyway. Basically, what happens? Ryuga gets his Slash driver, and I think it's just his jelly or his driver as well.
It's both of them. Like he gets them torched by Evolt's like magical Martian powers.
Yeah.
So
they're both. So basically, his Slash driver is broken. His jelly, he manages to turn his jelly into like this big rock thing.
Yeah.
Though the weird part about that episode, it's is that like I know I'm quoting like Japan Anime from like this kind of something like Japan Anime brought up in his review of the episode, but like they never really addressed that. Like they like Ryuga never goes, oh crap, well where's my old build driver? Because like
he wasn't he exclusively using the Slash driver for a while?
Yeah, he was. That was the only thing he would use, and that was unfortunate because, like, the original Cross suit I love, but he didn't use that for very long until he got the Splash driver.
Yeah,
it was. I'm not saying that because, like, I hate the Cross type. I love that suit, but the original Cross suit's really good too. We didn't really get to see a lot of it.
Wait, hold on. How the fuck does he get his Splash driver back?
If I had to guess, like Sento just repaired it. Because which I could buy, because we see, in like the Cross v Cinema, when he opens the drawer to get a build driver, you can see there's like 3 or 2 Splash drivers in there, as well as like a bunch of full bottles. I have no idea where he's been keeping them, mind you. Where he's been keeping the bottles. Actually, the funny thing is, like, the show kind of addresses that a little during like one of the recaps, like. Where the hell do you even keep all the bottles? Don't ask.
And it's like a fucking shelf or something.
Yeah. Essentially, his Splash driver is destroyed. Later on, it's something happens, like it explodes, and like that's where we get the Dragon Magma full bottle, which. And this prompts Sento to make a new power-up item for him. That being the Magma Knuckle, which is basically just would you say it's a brass knuckle essentially, or
kind of essentially, a giant brass knuckle essentially?
Yeah, it's it can only work with like the Dragon Magma full ball.
Imagine actually punching someone with the toy.
Oh yeah. it can work with other full models, like as we mentioned earlier. Like during his first fight, he actually stuck Taka into the thing, and he uppercutted one of the Gear Bros, and like these like flaming hawk wings just manifested from the thing.
Yeah, you were saying that, I think.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's also another one where he takes like the silver Dragon Full ball later on, and the thing like emits silver fire. This is my dumb way of describing stuff, people.
Makes you remember this shit. I don't remember any of this shit. Like, I remember certain moments, but like,
my memory's not that great because there's like times where it just, it's like, it's like, where I go back and look at a show. It's like, I completely forgot about that moment.
One of my favorite parts of when the introduction of Cross Magma is Sento has to name everything. So like when he first transforms, he's like, yeah, Cross Magma. he's like,
yeah, and so yeah, eventually, yeah, Volt like shoots a bunch of Ryuga gets Ryu gets angry. Like his eyes start to glow up. Stark uses like the Pandora box to like fire some sort of energy beam into him. Like, and that I think that's what creates that's what actually gives them more.
Cross Magma full bottle, yeah. Because there's something we never really explained, but Ryuga and Evol have a very strong connection because what happened is that Evolt's form was essentially divided into parts. And like when he possessed Soichi, that was like simply one part of him that possessed Soichi. So that was like his consciousness, and he was able to like control Soichi from then on. But he didn't have his full body. So his power essentially, when he went to Earth, the power essentially went up inside Ryuga's mum, essentially. And it's really weird, because you see, like, the slime going up her leg, so you only can imagine what's actually happening there. So, yeah, and, like, so she ends up giving birth to Ryuga, like, and it's sort of like, like that fictional pregnancy trope where oh, it's a miraculous pregnancy, and she has you in, like, a day or a week.
Banjo Ryuga is Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, essentially, but yeah, it was like a magical pregnancy because he didn't really have a father, and like so Ryuga's connection and because he initially had a very powerful hazard level, like, and he had like an unnatural because they explained it in the show that when they tried to expose him to nebula gas, he didn't turn into a smash because the logic was that if your hazard level was below 2, the nebula gas would turn you into a smash. If you were above 2, the nebula gas would just make you stronger. That's why he was able to survive the nebula gas injection. That's how he was able to like escape from like Faust's underground facility. Because the nebula gas didn't like turn him into a smash; it just made it stronger. So that was a bit of foreshadowing, and the same thing happened to Sento. Like his hazard level was above 2, therefore the nebula gas turned him into a smash. So that's how they all survived not being turned into smash when they turned into nebula gas.
Yeah. Just quickly, while this takes place during this, the Hyper Battle DVD video introduces Gentoku's basically Gentoku's final form.
Yeah.
Prime
Rogue.
Prime Rogue.
It's fucking badass, and I'm going to show it right here. It basically replaces all the cracks with like rosebud shit.
Yeah,
and
apparently
I don't know how to feel about that form. So
it's gonna make an appearance again in like the Grease v Cinema. So
okay,
nice.
I didn't even think it was actually canon.
Yeah. Yeah, the Hyper Battle DVD is canon. That's where actually Gentoku gets his leather jacket.
He also gets a fucking cape, and also this is the one time Rogue uses the build driver.
Yeah.
Because he's gone from using the steam gun to using the splash driver, and now he finally gets to use the build driver. And it's the same idea as Rabbit and Rabbit. It's basically a double crocodile.
I noticed builds. A lot of builds items are essentially just remolds or repaints of other items.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I mean, yeah. You had like the Blizzard Knuckle, which is based off of the Magma Knuckle. Yeah, the Prime Rogue full bottle, which is based off of the full Rapid Tank bottle. Yeah, a lot of things, and the Cross Evolve bottle, the Galaxy Knuckle was based off of the Genius full bottle.
Yeah.
So, no, the Galaxy Mega, whatever the fuck it's called.
Muscle Galaxy full bottle was there.
Muscle Galaxy, my mistake.
The Cross build one was based off of Rab Tank Sparkling.
Yeah.
Basically stuff like that. Like, what was I going to address here? I can't remember.
Well, let's see. Where did we leave off? We left off at.
I know. We were explaining why RyeGuy. I was explaining why RyeGuy was special because we didn't get to mention that part. But yeah, he has a connection to a vault because essentially, part of a vault is inside RyeGuy. He has a vault's raw power, I believe, which is what makes him very highly susceptible to the build equipment, which is why he's able to use it so well. Why he has such a strong connection with it. So. Yeah, and that's how because it's like Zero said, a vault constantly kept evolving. You know, once he got the Evolve driver, he had phase 1, and then because a vault possessed Soichi, so he went on to possess RyeGuy. When he did that, he took back the part of himself that was in RyeGuy. He got his power back, and then he achieved phase 2. Then he possessed Sento to get Sento's intellect, I believe. He wanted Sento's minds and brain. That's why he possessed him. And then he had phase 3. And then he needed to re-energize the Evolve trigger, and that was phase 4. Then he had Evolve Black Hole.
Yeah.
So that's essentially, that was his entire master plan scheme. Can I just say that what I love about Evolve Mimose is how he has been here since the start, and he was playing everyone like fucking fiddles.
Yeah, I love that. He's essentially just building up to his big end goal.
Building up.
Yeah.
That being said, I find a lot of this arc just kind of meh. Stuff gets paid off, but it's not as good as the second or third arcs, in my opinion. They were just better done. It seemed like by the time they got to this point, they were just trying to wrap shit up so they could get the show done. Because the end happens very quickly. Because shortly after that, that's when the whole fucking Pandora box wall, sky wall thing happens.
Yeah.
Well, I disagree that it felt rushed. One other thing I'll say is that one of the reasons why people didn't like the second half of Build was because people started to really not like Evolve for one reason. I'm sure there are other reasons, but one reason I noticed is that he constantly had the upper hand, and to people it felt like he was pulling the shit out of his ass. Oh, that was my final plan. This is my actual final plan. Oh, no, that was my final plan. This is my final grand plan.
The stupid thing the entire time I was watching M was I'm like, we have genius. There's this is the ultimate power, and and it's been proven multiple times that it's the strongest, and that Sento could just kick his ass anytime he wanted.
No. Black Hole was stronger statistically and writing wise. It was Evolve is more powerful than the entire cast. Black Hole Genius can't beat Black Hole. If you remember watching the final fight, Sento couldn't even really make him budge. They had to constantly go around him. They had to punch the driver to get him to depower. That's the only way they could get on the upper hand of him. They had to do a lot of things to even hurt him. And honestly, I liked that. I liked how powerful he was. I know people got annoyed by it, but I sort of liked how hopeless it was. It sort of reminded me of Gaim, how by the end of Gaim things felt very hopeless. But Gaim had a lot more of a sweet ending, when Build was a lot more bittersweet.
Yeah.
Because I know it's giving a bit, but essentially, what Sento had to do was that he had to essentially merge his world with the Prime Rider universe. Because the world they merged was the main Rider timeline. That's where Ichigo up to Exe. That is one world, one timeline. That is exactly what they merged with it. And the Build stuff did that, so it was easier for Geo to do Build tributes, even though they still messed it up anyway. But whatever, that's just my opinion.
Don't forget the timeline where the what was I going to say?
Heisei Generation's final.
No. Hold on. Let me finish.
Okay.
Don't forget the timeline where Shocker won. Don't forget the timeline. Don't forget the decade where all the alternate worlds exist. Don't forget about going back to that argument we had that I'm cutting it anyways. Multiverse series have been in this forever, and despite what Toei says, they can't change that.
Yeah, but here's the thing: decade, that's multiple dimensions.
Multiverse.
Same
shit.
No, it's different dimensions and different timelines are different things.
Yeah.
They are. Timelines are time, dimensions are space. Time and space are not the same thing.
Also,
yeah.
In there, but whatever.
There was also one weird bit during the movie. Tiny bit of spoilers here. Because admittedly, this is one of the more minor complaints of the show. It was kind of hard to keep track of who had what, which full bottles were in whose hands.
Yeah, I will agree. That started getting a bit messy.
Yeah, because at one point, Gentoku has Gorilla, Grease has Locke for some reason, but then it's back in Ryuga's hands.
Yeah, I will agree. There are little things about the last part I didn't like. For some reason, Ryuga just gave Kazumi an extra Dragon Slash jelly, and I'm like, how does that exist? Did Sento make that? They never explain that. He just has an extra Dragon Slash jelly. If he has that, why hasn't he attempted to use Cross Charge again? I guess you could argue because Cross Mag is more powerful, but come on. What?
Yeah, there was also, during the movie, okay, the build takes between 45 and 46. During the movie, Sento, for some reason, all the full bottles are back in his possession. Well, not all of them, but but there's still Bat Engine with Utsumi, but for some reason he has all the full bottles again.
Oh fuck! You just reminded me. We never talked about Mad Rogue.
Oh yeah, right.
Utsumi became Mad Rogue. He apparently faked going Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and because for some reason, Evolt gave Utsumi an extra Evolve driver, which they don't even explain how he has that. He just has an extra Evolve driver.
I mean, look at that face. So, but I mean, yeah, they didn't explain that. He just has one.
Yeah,
an extra one. Then I'm like, then why didn't you use it?
My only guess is that he was able to make an extra one after he got all of his shit together. Once he reached phase 4, he could actually make an extra Evolve driver. But if that's the case, why didn't he make a backup one in the first place? Before the whole Mars crap. But whatever. It makes no sense, but I can excuse it because everything else in the show is so good, so I don't care.
Yeah, but the movie, Sento, because for a while now, Evolve had all the full bottles in his possession, but suddenly they got Pandora's box back, and I were the bottles inside Pandora's box?
I can't remember.
I believe
These were things
so.
that convoluted.
Yeah, this because like Sento, because like they're all back in Sento's possession now for some reason, and like, but then again, it's like during the final arc, we also see Sawa give Utsumi and Gentoku the shark and bike full bottles to counteract the Hell Bros.
Yeah, let's just say these little things is one of the reasons why Build is not the favorite for me. Gaim is still better because Gaim didn't have little inconsistencies like that.
The Hell Bros?
Yeah. Just Google it. Look up Kamen Rider Build Hell Bros.
The fuck? Like, I don't even remember this. Hell Bros. Oh, the fucking Gear Boys.
Yeah.
Oh, 'cause every time you're saying Hell Bros, I'm thinking like Kick Hopper and Punch Hopper. Like,
okay. Yeah,
they're both called the Hell Bros. It's weird.
Yeah, essentially, like they few. Yeah, essentially, it's just the same cost. The two costumes fused into one.
oh, okay, right, okay.
Yeah, so that was weird. There was also like the stuff with the gold and dragon, the gold rabbit full ball, and the silver dragon one, because like they meant because like in the movie they're just reverted back. They revert back to normal for a bit, then they become the gold and silver ones again, and then they just revert back to normal, and then all of a sudden they're back to being gold and silver, which was kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, that was in the final fight, right?
Yeah.
The gold and silver, and that wasn't a best match. That was something else.
Yeah. I think they're called lost match. No, not lost matches.
What are you two talking about?
We're talking about Rabbit and Dragon.
You mean the gold and silver bottles? I have no idea how that happened. I think it's just weird fiefy Toku magic where
it's love and peace.
Yeah. So apart from like who had what, and what was with who, those are like a few minor complaints I have with the show, but like, is it I can let pass? There's everything else is good. So
yeah, I mean, like I said, like my feelings with this arc is it's not as like there's some stuff that I really enjoyed, but there's a lot of stuff that I was like, whatever. Like I was I felt like there were like it was some of it was getting stale, but I mean like the final battle gave me a lot of the same feelings I got with the final battle in O's, though it wasn't as emotional, I guess you could say. But what happens at the very end of the show, which is
that everyone starts dropping like flies.
Everyone's well, not just that, but like essentially they go to a timeline where the Pandora box incident never happened.
Okay, it's not a timeline; it's a different dimension.
It's a timeline. It's this.
It's not the same thing.
Okay. Can I
disagree with you. So you're just going to have to accept that.
Can I interrupt your conversation here?
Sure.
What happens is like they merge that world with Build's world, and essentially no one essentially everything from that world has been erased from except for in like Sento and Ryuga's minds, because like
those were the only two people left because they were special.
I love the part where Ryuga says, "I met myself."
Yeah.
Again, that's his different dimensional counterpart.
Yeah, and but they eventually, of course, in like the Cross V cinema, like they get their memories back thanks to a resurrected Pandora's box.
Yeah.
and which send off like that chain of events. It's actually, and it only like affects people with who were injected with nebula gas, like Gentoku, Kazumi, Misora, and Sawa.
Yeah.
There's like probably tons of other people as well.
I just watched that special, by the way, so
Yeah,
that's how I got caught up on that.
Yeah.
But yeah. In terms of, also one thing I just really like about this, since we're getting near the end here, is I love how at the very end they show how they did all the like
the recaps.
The recaps, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that's just them. And I love how in the Cross Z thing, they're like, man, that was a lot of work. We even had to hire voice actors.
Yeah, that's like actually, yeah, this is like the only this only series like from Toei that actually does like the characters doing the recap thing well, because there's actual funny banter between like the cast.
Yeah, it's more than just catching up, like the people that haven't seen it. Like, it was not like, oh no, Tekuchi Takeru. Like, oh god, I hate that. It was they actually used it for comedy, like, and it was really good. Like, I feel like they did this right, because like not only did it inform the audience of what happens, but like you would want to watch them. I wanted to watch the recaps for the jokes. I didn't mind watching the recaps because of that. That's never happened before.
I think one thing that I feel like with this series as a whole is that they were given a lot of freedom, probably because they probably thought that Build was going to be the last of the Heisei era initially, because we didn't know when that era was ending, because that's around when the show came out, was around the time when the
Japanese government announced that, like,
the head of the Japanese head of the Japanese government was going through health issues, and people were anticipating the era's about to end, because they do their eras with their rulers. So
yeah,
and that's why I feel like this is why I make an RPM comparison to this, not just in the fact that like the shows have a lot of comparisons, but also just the fact like it feels like they were basically told, do whatever the fuck you want, because this is the end of the era, we're going to do something completely different, new. And then ZO happened because they realized, oh shit, we've got another year of this. So but I like how loose Build is. Like it's not it feels less formulaic. Like they started off very formulaic, and I think they did that just to get people, just to introduce the powers and stuff to because toy sales will go through the roof. But yeah, it's I like how like it didn't stay on that formula, because if it had, it could have turned into something like a Ghost or a Wizard or maybe even a Drive or something like that. But I like that we got something different with it. I like that it was a war-based show. Essentially, it became at that point, which it made like the comedy feel like levity, rather than just trying to make it be funny because kids show. And the whole weapons being churned out on a regular basis by Sento made sense, because it was a military kind of thing.
Yeah, it was a war zone they were in.
Yeah, so it all just fit together really well. So, and this is why it's really high on my list and high on your guys' list, I think, too, is on rare seasons, because like it all fit together really well. And it's, I don't know, it's not 100% perfect. There are problems with it. Obviously, I voiced my problems with certain parts of it, and there's things that aren't explained, or they just explained away. But I think like they did a fairly good job with the show, considering probably the pressure they had to deal with trying to make something to follow X8, because X8 was really good as well. And how do you top video games? So
war.
War never changes. But yeah, personally, like I said at the start of this is my third favorite Kamen Rider season. The other ones that beat it for me are Gaim and O's. It's really good. I'd watch it again anytime, and obviously I really like it because I bought the toys, or some of them anyways.
I just buy this because I like the toys more than just liking the show, because I buy Geo's toys and I don't like the show, so
Yeah, that's like Build's really damn great. I love the serialization. I love its cast. I love the comedy. Just everything clicked with me.
Yeah, and again, my favorite, and again, like I love the show's ending because it was bittersweet. It made me think. I can't help but compare the ending of this to Gaim because both Gaim and Build were in really hellish situations. Like in Build, they had this otherworldly, Lovecraftian sort of powerful creature that they just couldn't stop. And the only way they could stop it was essentially sacrifice their world. They had to merge their world and leave a vault behind in that dimension. That's the only thing they could possibly do, and that's what they did. They left a vault behind so he couldn't destroy the Earth. It was a bittersweet final solution. Unlike in Gaim, where Kota could fix everything because he became Fruit Jesus. So he was able to fix everything.
Lex, have you seen the Cross Sea cinema?
No, I haven't, but I don't care if you spoil it for me.
Because they didn't leave him in the dimension he kind of attached himself to Banjo.
Oh, he followed them to it. Fuck.
Yeah. And it's funny because in that movie he's kind of like an ally.
Yeah,
which is weird. So
it's like it's like a lot of people. I know people got annoyed by that, but like I just kind of find it funny. It's like you. By the way,
I love at the end of that movie where he's like, "Later, fuckers," and he just flies away, and Banjo's like, "Don't come back."
I mean, I guess if he learned his lesson, even though he was a horrible, 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 horrible creature that had absolutely no sense of human life.
And it's funny because oh my god, and that's the thing, like that, it kind of ruins his character a little bit because they put a new motivation on why he was that way, and you probably won't like it. I'm not going to spoil it, but you probably...
You can tell me. I don't care.
Well, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but
okay.
Essentially, they tried to give him a sympathetic backstory.
Oh, really?
Oh, this is why he was a bad guy, and it's like, no, stop it.
I don't care I don't care if he was abused as a child. Like, that happens to serial killers all the time, and they're still horrible people. So...
Yeah, I mean, like, even if you try to say, like, oh, well, this makes sense, it still doesn't excuse all the things he did.
Yeah, it's like John Wayne Gacy was constantly beaten and treated like shit by his father, but he still ended up killing 33 boys. So,
Christ.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I think that's all we can really say at this point on Build. Is there anything else you guys want to add?
No, not really. I just love this show so much, and I never understood why people had such a problem with the second half. I didn't see any different quality. I mean, things got a bit messy, and I understand that people sort of thought Evolve was too overpowered, but again, I liked that because to me, it wasn't them making him overpowered to make it for any lazy reason. They did it intentionally to show that it was hopeless. I liked that hopelessness. Again, I compare it to Gaim. Gaim and Bill were both in hopeless situations, but Kota was able to fix it because he became Fruit Jesus. Sento didn't have a magical apple that gave him god powers. He had to use science and his brains. So,
and see, this is the funny thing about having different opinions on stuff. Like, it's just like obviously, like, I've said stuff that I thought that the last arc was kind of rushed, and there were some parts of it that were kind of meh. But like, you got something completely different out of it. Yeah. It's kind of like how with ZO, I'm having enjoyment out of things that people are complaining about because they're not seeing the full picture. But that's just me. We'll get to ZO eventually, guys. But yeah, like, Build's great series. Obviously, if you guys want to check it out, it's subbed by TV Nihon. And
subs Overtime Blows. No, not really. They're
okay. And it is subbed also by Overtime, but since the show's done, there's no real need for needing to get fast subs.
So you might as well get the quality subs that take time.
I did watch the TV Nihon one, and hey, hold on. let's not bash overtime here. They get the shit out quicker than anybody else.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they are men of culture. I'm part of their Discord servers.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah. Build's great. Go check it out. And of course, if in the future this series becomes available on some kind of streaming platform with English subtitles, please make our suggestion to go find these with fan subs null and void, because we want to. If Kamen Rider does become available on some kind of streaming platform, I am going to, and I would expect anybody else to support it if you like this franchise. With that being said, let's get to the part of the podcast where we talk about what we're working on. Lex, I know this is going to be short and sweet for you, but you go ahead.
Yeah, I have a new YouTube channel, of course. It's called The Henshin Archiver. And there's nothing on it yet. I'm very slow when it comes to content. I'm trying to make a compilation currently, because I sort of want my channel. There's a reason why I call myself The Henshin Archiver, because I want to basically archive cool moments from Kamen Rider and possibly Sentai that you can show to your non-Toku friends. Basically say, hey, I think this is cool. Have a little snippet of it and see if you'd like it. And if they like what they see, they can go out of their way to try and find subtitles or legally purchase it.
You basically are making your channel based around the commenter, the unassuming local commenter who's like, what show is this from? I want to watch it. Even though it says in the title of the video what it is.
Yeah, I'm trying. I just want people. Also, it's for me, because I also want to be able to, because I also will, I don't really know, but I will one day possibly get more friends. I don't know. I'm kind of comfortable with the group. And it makes me sound very pathetic. But if I ever get more friends in the future, and if I maybe want to get them into Kamen Rider, I say, oh, well, guess what? I just happen to have this channel which highlights some of the best moments of it. Maybe you should check it out.
That'd be great, because you know what the hardest thing is trying to talk to your coworkers. Will talk about, superheroes are hot right now with all the movies and whatnot. It'll be like, oh yeah, and the new episode of Kamen Rider came out and this happened. And they're like, what's that? And I'm like, it's Japanese superheroes. And their first thought is stereotypes, and it's like. It's not anybody's fault. It's just the way that things went.
Yeah,
but I have shown a few people Kamen Rider before, and they're like, they really got into it. And then some other people, it wasn't just their thing. So it's one of those things where whenever I explain it to somebody, it seems weird. But having a way to show this is what I think, because I have shown clips. I'm like, this is the kind of superheroes I watch, and my buddy was like, "Whoa, what is that?" So, but yeah, is there anything else you want to add, or should we move on?
Yeah, I also will try to make toy reviews, because I used to make toy reviews way back in the day, but I got kind of bored doing it. But now I have sort of a reinvigoration to do it, because because to me, I sort of have this sense of humor and maybe these sort of thoughts on the toys that people don't really have, and I want to share them.
Yeah.
So,
and me, if you need any advice, let me know. I was trained by the best, Zaren Zephyr.
Yeah.
He was a really good guy. He gave me a ton of tips and helped me out when I first started doing Henshin.
Dude, he wouldn't stop talking to me. He would talk to me a lot more. He's like, "Hey, you're RyeGuy on YouTube." It's like, oh shit.
This guy who has 100,000 more subscribers than me knows who I am. This is a crazy thing. But anyway,
that was a shocker for me.
Riley, what are you working on?
I was supposed to work on something special for the summer, but unfortunately, lots of things. Okay, I've been having anxiety problems, and
man, I feel you. There's something I didn't tell you. I know you wanted me to film a thing for you, but I started this new diet, and my moods have been like this because of my difference in blood sugar because of it.
No, it's fine. I still have to get my stuff ready, so.
Well, I'll probably film the thing this weekend if you need it. So,
all right.
But yeah, so you are working on stuff. It's just slow because you've got stuff in the go.
Yeah, it's I wanted to film it in June, but things were getting in the way, and
yeah, I was so sorry about not being able to write the script. That was a really bad day. You called us to write the script. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It is what it is. But,
I might have to change the script to something else now. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you need me to help write it, I'll be there.
All right.
Riley, I may try to. By the way, this is just a side thing. I may try to rewrite the thing we were going to do into something shorter that we can film each on our own end and then put together.
Right.
So, we'll talk about that at some point, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
sorry, you go
ahead. You go ahead.
I just wanted to quickly say that I've also sort of started writing skits for Riley, like that Nina's Proclamation skit. I wrote that script, so
when I saw that, I'm like, I need to have you in. If this thing happens, I need to have you in for that.
so I can go. Rejoice! Zeromaster bestows upon us a royal sigh. He's reviewing a shitty video game like a good 90% of internet video game critics.
Well, I'll tell you about it off the.
There's actually two. There's actually two test videos. I actually had mine for, what I watch the films. Like, one of them is just like, you're involved, but you're just like you're just doing your usual. Hey guys, welcome back to Zeromaster Reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing, and then something crashes in your house.
Yeah, something like that could happen at some point. That'd be cool. But yeah, is that all from your camp right now, Riley? Or
pretty much, yeah.
Okay. As for me, I have several reviews in the works, a bunch scripted. I have 2 games that I received review codes for. That I need to finish reviews for. One of them is being a pain in the ass, so I'm still recording gameplay footage, and one of them I just got yesterday, so I have stuff to do. I've also had some other games come in, like limited run stuff, like I've got Giga Wrecker now, and I don't know if I'll review this, but this came in, and there's been a lot of stuff on my end that I'm preparing, but it still needs to come out. I'm also going to be making some major changes to a couple of shows that I do. Like I said, Henshin Time is one thing I want to bring back. It's just be patient with me, everybody, because I want to go. I want to offer 4K at 60 frames, which is something that not a lot of toy reviewers can offer right now.
I actually want to offer that myself in my toy reviews, but unfortunately, right now I don't. But personally, if I want to do it, I want to edit it on a Mac because I'm going to be recording them on my phone, and I can't airdrop things on my PC for obvious reasons.
It's like my big gimmick with Henshin Time when I got really big was I offered 1080p at 60 frames, because that was something that Zarin Zelfer helped me out with because he was the 4K guy before 4K was really a big thing. And now I want to upgrade, not just being 1080p, but I want my videos to be at 4K at 60 frames. Just because if I'm going to be doing these toy reviews, it's not just to have an advantage over other people, but it's also like, I want to show what you're getting because sometimes people use these videos as buyer's guides and have questions. And the more the clearer you can show it, the easier it is for somebody to use that to see if they want it or not. So that is down the pipeline. I also have new stuff down the pipeline that I'm trying. My vlog channel, Zeromaster Vlog, I'm trying new stuff on it all the time. So check that out if you get a chance. And speaking of plugging, one other thing I want to talk about is another episode is coming out soon of the other podcast I do, which is over on Enter Excalibur's channel. Ironically, another Aussie is the Very Noise podcast episode 3. We recorded it a few weeks ago, but Jordan's been busy. He hasn't had time to edit it, so that is in the pipeline. Hopefully, you'll see it by the time this goes up. I'm not sure. But anyways, to plugging, Lex, what you want to plug?
Who do I want to plug? Like another channel I like or something like that?
No. What of yours do you want to plug? Like where can people find you, essentially?
The Henshin Archiver on YouTube. If you can catch me in Riley's comment section, my icon's currently O's. So if you see O's, that is me. Because I do plan on commissioning to have an original writer OC. So
I have one of those.
yeah, I'll need that. I'm going to base it off of Woz because one, I like Woz's suit, I like Woz as a character, and like my Rider's gimmick is my Kamen Rider gimmick is that he sort of like goes through time and he sort of like archives Rider powers with Rider watches.
I don't have the Woz Ride Watch, but I have this.
Yeah, stuff like that, you know, like, because, like, as much as I don't like the show, I love the aesthetic and I love the gimmick, and I love Woz as a character. I think Woz is a great character. So,
Yeah. That's why you proclaim things in Riley's video.
yes, because I like Woz, and I like, and I like that gag. I don't care what anyone says. That's like the only really funny thing about that show. So,
but yeah, is that it for you, or do you have anything?
yeah, just the Henshin archive. But you also can catch me on Riley's channel again. I write some of his skits. I'm the little blonde pony thing that will eventually be retired one day because I want to move away from that part of my life. I still love the show, but the show's ending this year, and I don't really want to associate with the Brony fandom anymore. So
I more so know you guys as Rider fans anyway. So
yeah,
that's good.
Riley, what do you want to promote?
Just my YouTube channel, RyeGuy Productions. I do skits based around where I'm either testing, toys or just other sorts of weapons, like whether it be from Toku or Marvel stuff, or occasionally like maybe SpongeBob.
Some videos start like this.
Yeah. And then something goes wrong, and I end up destroying a building or injuring an innocent bystander. Zero knows. He's been a part of it before.
Dude, you froze me. Or actually, I froze me.
Well, he shrunk me. So
I tried to set it back to Wumbo.
Wumbo isn't a real word.
Dude, he lit my ass on fire.
Okay. Well, you can file your complaints in the complaint jar. But yeah, that's my channel.
All right, so you guys know where to find me, but before I talk about where you can find me, I have to give a quick shout out to my Patreons over at Patreon. So far, you'll see a list probably on screen and at the end of this video. If you want to support me and support my series, it's patreon.com/Zeromaster. And where you can find me is I'm on Facebook at Zeromaster fan page, at Twitter at Zeromaster, and I stream twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. on twitch.tv/Zeromaster. And hey, if you like game reviews and shit, check out the rest of the stuff on this my Zeromaster Reviews channel, the one that you're watching or listening to this on. And I also do Let's Plays on my Let's Play channel, gameplay videos on Zeromaster LP. I have a lot of shit to show. And finally, guys, I want to say this. I want to say this coming out is that I want to say thanks to all the people who showed me support. Today, this being, because we're recording this on a Friday the 13th, actually, interestingly enough, or Friday the 12th. Because it's the 13th now, it's a Saturday because it became whatever. I got my first payout from Twitch, so I appreciate all the support for people who are coming to the streams, people who are showing their support through Patreon, or even just doing other things. Like, for example, you can use my IndieGal affiliate link to support indie devs, support me, and save money on some fucking sweet indie games. And if you don't have money, there are other ways to show your support, of course, like sharing things and or downloading the Brave browser. For those of you who don't know what Brave is a browser created by the original creators of the Mozilla software, aka the software that was used to make Firefox. So if you want a browser that protects your information, and also you want to support somebody without like even spending any money, like, check it out. Like, and I have gotten money from that as well. So thank you very much, guys, for going ahead and doing that. Guys, thanks for coming out to talk about Build with me. I know we were planning this. We weren't sure when this was going to happen because the Xade one happened like a couple months ago, and with the Heisei era over now, I kind of wanted to get this one talked about because it's one of the most important and one of the best series in the Heisei generation.
Definitely.
In the Kamen Rider franchise in general too. So
definitely.
But yeah, anyways, guys, thanks for watching another episode of the Hunter Base podcast. These guys will probably be back for when we talk about ZO. Currently, ZO is still airing, so we can't talk about it right now. We'll except maybe a little bit, but you'll probably see these guys again. And yeah, again, I'm Zeromaster, and with me I had tonight Lex and RyeGuy.
Later.
Laters.
Bye. Wait, hold on. We need something good to end this podcast. Ninja Vanish. Nothing happened. Okay, bye.